Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Rejects and Friends Sub-Zero 2022. I'm your host, Happy Bear, and you definitely have not heard me in the past hour. I'm only doing hosting today, yep. It is so good to be with you today, everyone. We have so much exciting marathon action coming up for you, and I'm just so excited to share it with you. Now, I want to update you on one of our donation incentives. It's for a Twilight Princess run. Watching the Minda's Desperate Hour cutscene as Human Link. Normally you watch it as Wolf Link, but our talented speedrunners can make Human Link appear. Who would have thought? Well, right now we are at $69 out of 333. We've still got a little under 24 hours left for that. So you've got time to get those donations in and pump that donation amount up to $333. And I see you people in chat. It is so good to see all the friends there. Well, if you don't know, our next run is by a variety pack, who is our wonderful organizer and comrade and friend. We're so grateful for everything that Variety has done to get this going. You'll hear from her in a few minutes as she begins her run. Now, we do have a few donations while we are preparing, and I would like to read them to you this very moment. Beautiful Dandy donates $10 and says, "Let's make those animals happy." Mishi donates $20 with no comment. And the Salty Brush, oh boy. The Salty Brush Tail donates $5. I'm going to try my best with this one, chat. Okay. Why dap Seobera X and Hosen haben? Bern ne können exa Hadelden. Pipoji. And in parentheses, Salty explains, Old English for, why does the bear have an axe and pants? Bears can't hold axes. Pipoji. Thank you, Salty, for the Old English and for making me a little bit more cultured today. And thank you, Dandy and Mishi, for those wonderful donations. Y'all are so generous, and I'm just so grateful for it. Well, we are at $2,619 out of our goal, which is $3,333.33. So we are making incredible progress towards that. Y'all are awesome. Okay, well, we are going to take just a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to have Variety's run of BioShock Infinite. It's going to be a good one, and it's going to be a long one, so settle in with your hot chocolate, or your cider, or your whiskey, or your tequila, or whatever you're using to get cozy tonight, and we'll be right back. See you soon. And we're back, everyone. Looks like everyone is getting cozy in chat. Yes, use those cozy emotes, please. I myself will be throwing a cozy emotes in once Variety starts. It is so fun to be with y'all tonight. Well, coming up right this moment, this very moment, we have a variety pack with a run of BioShock Infinite in the all collectibles category. We are so pumped for this. This is a great game, and Variety is a great speedrunner of this game. So we're excited to see what she's going to throw at us during this run. All right, Variety, I believe we're ready for you, so take it away.
Hello everyone, this is maskless variety for once. Yes, I will be performing BioShock Infinite all collectibles. I currently hold the world record for most of the major Nintendo Switch categories of this game, so I'm excited to be able to show this off. I've been working on this and trying to get it down to a time that I consider to be passable. I am joined here by my commentator, Ghost Likely, if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ghost Likely. I'm a bit sick, so I apologize if I sound weird. I'm also a speedrunner. I run BioShock Infinite and the first BioShock. I don't run this category, but I know a lot about the game in general and most of the tricks and the glitches.
Yep, I trust Ghost's judgment over my own about this game 99% of the time. So, it's a long run, starting the graveyard shift of the marathon, as is customary for the Pacific Northwest. So, it's time to start stalling. We'll get started when the first, I guess, subtitle text on the bottom shows up. It's going to be a little bit hard to time that in, but I'll let you know when it's going to happen. 3, 2,
Okay.
1, go.
Are you afraid of
Oh,
God?
that was perfect.
No. But I'm afraid of you.
All right, so in BioShock Infinite, we play as ex-soldier and ex-Pinkerton, Booker DeWitt, who has been tasked with finding a girl in the city of Columbia, bring back the girl and wipe away the debt, he's been told. That's plot, and we're speedrunners, so we don't much care about plot, so I'm going to go ahead and explain the category a little bit. All collectibles, that's sort of a weird name for 100%, why not just call it 100%? All collectibles is basically the equivalent of 100%, where we're getting as much as possible without necessarily
Excuse me.
having to focus on literally every single thing that is potentially possible in this run. So we're going to collect all of the vigors, which are power-ups that give you more health, shields, or magic power, respectively. We'll be getting all of the voxophones, which are sort of lore audio logs that we're certainly not going to be listening to, as well as all of the gears, which are effectively like passive bonuses that you can get. 1 of 4 categories: hats, shirts, pants, and... Ooh, do you know the last one, Ghost? I don't actually remember.
I don't remember either.
It's not shoes, is it?
Is it?
Oh man.
Oh no.
Experts at this game, we are.
I never check like the gears menus, so it's like
I rarely do as well. We're gonna get started off here by walking up to this lighthouse.
Excuse me. It's
With a
Booker
totally
DeWitt.
not ominous at all sign
I guess you're
on the
expecting
door.
me? Is anyone here?
And some not
Hello?
totally not religious at all imagery. At the top of this tower, we're going to be met with the most difficult puzzle of the run, which is both technically true and also, except for this one, and it's also just so happens to be the easiest.
it's actually really hard to do it fast.
It actually is. It feels really dumb to have to sit there and practice doing that very quickly. But it is something that I think every single BioShock Infinite runner has done at one point. Just sat down and been like 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, because it's the beginning of the run, so you want to save as much time as possible at the beginning. So it's especially on console where you don't have as accurate a movements as you would with the mouse. To be precise with the right control stick can be slightly difficult. I don't know how long you've practiced it for, but I know I've practiced it for probably a couple sessions of 15 minutes. Now, because Booker is not the brightest man in the entire world, he's going to sit in this
All right. Looks like they expect
clearly rigged chair here with arm clasps on either side. In fact, he's so trusting of a person that he's just going to put his arms there right for the taking.
The bindings are there as a safeguard.
Some of you might be familiar with the original BioShock game. This game has a couple references to the first one, but they aren't made explicit until the DLC. You'll not be really seeing too many references to BioShock 1 or 2 until the end. This game is mostly its own sort of thing. It wanted to tell a separate story. I'm not exactly... Do you know if the game was written with the DLCs in mind, or was the DLCs just sort of like a way to tie everything together? Before
I'm quite sure, yeah.
It was written with the loop around in mind.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, after ascending, what is it, about 20,000 feet into the air, we have now reached the city of Columbia. It looks very nice, but I promise you it's not. It's actually very nice that you can't see my splits for this run, which I do absolutely have, because I struggle from memory issues, so every single split is every single collectible that I will need to be getting for this run, because if I don't have that, I will absolutely forget one, then have to reset to an earlier point, and no one wants to see that. So, for the benefit of both you and me, let's just keep it up. This game is rather... What's the word? This game rather unflinchingly mocks and criticizes American society. As we see with all this religious stuff, and you'll see with the sort of idolization of the Founding Fathers. And Booker is here, if nothing else, to disrupt that order. Now, this game is extremely fair with its placement of all the collectibles, as you can see by the first one we're going to be getting, in a little corridor to the left. As we walk out of our air, whatever, we're going to walk into this little alcove on the left, even though the placement it doesn't actually tell you or introduce what a Vox phone is, which is what we just collected, until like maybe 5-ish more minutes into the run, so... I'm not exactly sure what they were thinking there, but no skin off my back. Pretty easy to collect, just make our way left at the beginning.
On this day of days, we recommit ourselves to our city and to our prophet, Father Comstock.
We're going to meet another character here called Preacher Whitting. We're also going to see him at the very end of the run. He is...
Newly come to Columbia to be washed.
How should I phrase this? He is...
I just need passage into the city.
Passage to the city.
He does an interesting version of being a priest, you might say, as we're going to see in just a couple seconds here. He's basically telling us that we can't actually enter Columbia until we get baptized, so I guess we have no choice but to do so.
Hey. I baptize you in the name of our prophet, in the name of our founders, and the name of our Lord. I don't know, brothers and sisters, but this one doesn't look...
He takes the water part of the ceremony, I guess, a little bit too seriously, as he almost drowns us here. And we find ourselves in this very strange room that I'm sure means absolutely nothing in a narrative sense. Ghost and I are going to do our best to not have to explain any of it, because lore is boring, especially in this game, but it's probably going to have to come up eventually. This game is very cutscene heavy, which is sort of a reason why people don't particularly enjoy running it. It's not as bad as one of the DLCs. Particularly DLC Episode 2, is notorious for just being cutscene the speedrun. you basically watch a cutscene, you move for 5 seconds, and then you watch another cutscene. It's not as bad in the main game run, but it does get pretty close sometimes. So luckily we have Happy Bear to back us up whenever that happens.
That is right, Variety. Is that an invitation to read a message?
In just a second, actually. We have one
Oh.
skip that we need to perform here. We're going to be jumping on this railing, waiting just a couple seconds, and after that, running and jumping onto this pillar on the side and getting to avoid having to wait for the rest of that platform to fall down. You are now formally invited to read out your host things.
I am now formally invited. I am so happy. Well, everyone, I just want to remind you, if you're sitting here in this event and you're like, how did I get here? Who is this person speedrunning? Why are we all doing this? Well, you're in luck, because I'm going to tell you. This is Rejects and Friends Sub-Zero. It's our winter speedrunning event, which benefits the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. It was conceived as a way to feature members of our community who were declined from other main stage speedrunning marathons, but it's evolved into something so much more than that. We hope we can keep it going as a showcase of our community's many talents and abilities, and your donations are helping us to do just that. You can see the schedule by typing !schedule in chat. Back to you, Variety.
Thank you very much. Something about this game that I really dislike is its relationship with collision, and I'm sure Ghost can back me up on that. Sometimes you can do cool things with collision, as in jumping over certain zones, but sometimes you can't and you just get stuck. In this particular case, we're going to wait just a little bit and then jump through the invisible trigger and make our way over to this next Vox phone that is on this table here. If anyone likes Barbershop and also the Beach Boys, you should look up this arrangement online after the run of God Only Knows. We're going to be stopped here by a small child who
Said I'd find her.
very mysteriously knew that we would be showing up here. It tells us not to pick the number 77, and unfortunately, in basically every other category except glitchless of this game, we get to avoid having to actually pick number 77, but because we're playing on Collectibles and we need to actually get everything, we're going to be forced to pick number 77 as well. Not that it's a collectible, but there is a collectible after that cutscene. I'm going to be picking up something here called a Vigor, and this is the game's introduction to basically the magic powers or plasmid equivalent from BioShock 1. They're a little bit different in this game in that they have some of the similar effects, but this one's a little bit different in terms of how it works. This is called Possession. It lets you take control of robots and eventually humans. And we're going to be making use of it right now. Actually, I should split that. This machine here, this vending machine, is basically blocking our way into the festival, but by using Possession, we sort of override its circuitry with magic or something, and get into the parade anyway.
Tails. Told you.
There's yet another Vox phone on a bench over to the right, and now it makes sense, because in that festival that we noted back there that we just passed through, it did give us an explanation of what the Vox phones were, but beforehand we were just supposed to guess that it was like an audio log equivalent from BioShock 1. Now, coming up, we're going to encounter a cutscene with a racist, and I don't know about you, but I don't like racists, so what I normally do in my chat is have everyone prepare tomatoes and prepare to boo Jeremiah Fink, who is currently on stage right now. So I would like to invite everyone to pull out their tomatoes and get ready to boo the racist, as I say.
There's never a charge for the raffle. You've been sleeping under a rock?
77.
77. That's a lucky number. I'll be rooting for you.
Bring me the ball!
All right, let him loose.
Not the prettiest young white girl in all of Columbia? All right then. The winner is number 77.
Oh, what do you know?
Over here! Over here! He's the winner!
Number 77 coming.
So there the number 77 things come into play. basically, as you can see, there's a lot of thematic elements regarding fate and universality in this run. So picking number 77 could have been a coincidence, but it's probably more than that because it is a narrative.
Come on! Are you gonna throw it? Or are you taking your coffee black these days?
Well, these guys are actually going to find out that we are the false shepherd, as they are calling us. Basically, the person who's going to lead the lamb astray. And we're going to meet that lamb in just a little bit here. But how are we going to get out of this sticky situation, I wonder?
That makes you the backstabbing snake in the grass false shepherd?
It seems that they're going to want to use their fancy melee hook on us.
Show 'em what we got planned.
If only we were a really good fighter and can get out of situations like this with really dumb solutions. Like, I don't know how this works, but I guess I'm glad it does. Alright. Welcome to the only first-person shooter in Raft 2. It's time for blood. By smacking this guy with the gun, we get to automatically pick up his gun. And we pick up that bag of money as well, because we're going to need a little bit of cash as we progress through this game. As we run down this pathway, we're going to encounter a new enemy called a fireman. He has access to one of the other vigors in this game that we're going to be using, called Devil's Kiss. And I guess this game took a little bit of Ray Bradbury inspiration, because the fireman is literally a man that is on fire. Lovely. So Booker's gonna end up not having a fantastic time taking some of these vigors. Might be in a bit of pain with that one. But yes, Devil's Kiss lets us basically lets us become Italian and throw meatballs at people. As you can see here. We're gonna throw a trap here to blow up the guys who are gonna come through that gate. So we don't have to worry about them as we run towards the blue ribbon. Ghost, would you like to explain how the DLC is going to work here?
Okay, so this game is very play to win, I guess. I mean, pay to win. Play to win. True. This game has some DLCs that give you, free stuff in the game. And also it gives you better weapons that do more damage, pretty much. So yeah, you get more gears, you get more vigors, and some more money. Some lunch money.
Most notably, you don't actually have to pick up all the gears in that particular room. Because they're DLC, they're not required by the run. Although, perhaps, Ghost, you'd like to explain what Sugar Rush is, one of the gears that I picked up.
Yeah, so Sugar Rush, it allows you to move very fast after you eat food. So you want to pray for the food. Because, this game is very RNG heavy. So you gotta pray every time you open, like, trash cans and all that stuff. So yeah. There are some fixed spots, though, with food. So that's good.
There are some fixed ones. There aren't enough of them, though, which ends up being a problem. But there's other RNG elements that we'll talk about later that definitely contribute more to a sense of feeling as though this run is just basically just an RNG fest that you can just win every so often. So as we enter the Order of the... I was about to say Crow, because of Murder Crows, but it's the Order of the Raven. We're going to basically gate crash their very racist meeting, pick up a Vox phone as well as a key. There are 3 instances in this game where you have to pick up keys and then unlock chests that are in completely different areas. As far as I know, this is the only one that you pick up that you actually have to backtrack to get. It's pretty obnoxious, but it's not too big of a trek back, so I'm okay with this one. But there's some other... the 2 other code books that you find require you to do only go forward to actually find the objective, which is very nice. If you see me stop after I pick up a collectible, that's because I'm going to be splitting it, because I don't want to forget the next one that's coming up. So one of the things about Sugar Rush is that you're sort of constantly in a rock, paper, scissors battle of, should I spend time killing this guy? Because if I do kill this guy and he has food, then I saved time. But if I kill this guy and he doesn't have food, then I wasted time. I could average those out if I just don't kill anyone. So I'm constantly going to be in a state of, oh man, do I waste time trying to kill someone for their food? Generally, the answer is yes, because you can make up a lot of time by doing that. But that's not always going to be the case, depending on how much space I actually have to run before I actually have the turn. Ghost, if you could explain one thing, I would like you to sort of go over why exactly I'm only getting these salts upgrades.
Oh yeah, so, well, the more salts you have, or like the bar, the bigger it is, the more things you can do, pretty much. It's really bad to pick the shield upgrade, because later on you really rely on the shield, so to break the shield. But yeah, when you get to do more damage, pretty much, overall. Use more of your powers.
Right.
Over the course of the run.
Something that's a little bit different about this game, and maybe since you're actually good at running BioShock 1, Ghost, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in this game, a lot of the vigors / plasmids are a little bit more about crowd control than BioShock 1. BioShock 1 has a lot of very specific use case ones and then a lot of specifically damaged ones. And I feel like
for sure.
BioShock Infinite has, for example, one of the main vigors we're going to be using down the line called Undertow and Charge and Shock Jockey, which are all about making sure that you can control which enemies you're fighting and make fights go as fast as possible. So while not all of them necessarily do damage specifically, they will increase your DPS overall because you'll be taking out enemies faster. So we have a new enemy here called a Crow, and this one has a very nice strat to take out. By aiming 2 fireball traps at this flower, then basically staring at this bottle of salts, run into them, and we can move on with our lives.
What's this? New kind of vigor?
Now, generally, you don't need to collect gears in most of the runs that you do, especially gearless, because you're not allowed to. But there are some cases in any percent and in any percent where you do actually want to pick up gears, even though you don't technically have to. Would you like to start the long explanation as to why we might want to do that?
Oh god.
I'll jump in if you need to tag out.
Well, so we're on the hunt for a very specific gear called Hill Runner's Hat. It's like every time you play the game, there are some fixed spots for the gears, but most of the gears are RNG. So you have a very low chance of getting HRH in the beginning. So in like any percent, you want to like pick up a couple of gears on the way to that one spot where you reset for HRH, because then you will have a higher chance of getting HRH. So,
yeah, later down the line. It's really hard to overstate how important HRH is to getting a fast time in this game. In fact, it's so important that the community has developed an Hill Runner's Hat mod that you can, or at least you used to be able to put into BioShock Infinite PC, which basically the first chance that you can get HRH, it automatically gives you Hill Runner's Hat because it's so important, and having it be a RNG-based, very rare RNG-based event was really demoralizing to a lot of people, so they made a mod for it. On console, obviously, we don't get such mods, so you sort of have to roll the dice every single time we do a run that allows HRH. We're going to meet our main antagonist here, Comstock. You might have seen him on a couple posters that we've been sort of running and flying by. And he's going to make this grand, big speech about his importance and how terrible of a person I am, which is true. But instead, we're going to focus on a trick here. It's going to make us do a fight after this particular cutscene with a bunch of people that we need to normally beat before we open a door to the next segment of the game. However, if we aim these fireballs right into this doorway at just the right place, that looks okay. I might be wrong. It will immediately kill some of the enemies in that door frame, thereby allowing us to skip basically the entire fight and unlock the door without actually taking out the rest of the enemies. The rest of this is basically going to be me proving, or I think I did that correctly, so. And then we're going to be listening to this guy talk, so happy if you have any donations or announcements to make. Now is a fantastic time for one or two of them.
Do I have some donations? You know it. Beautiful D&D donates $20 and says, "Can we pick the cage, please?" Anonymous donates $20 with no comment. And Lumberjack donates $5.01 and says, "Consarn it, what the dang Sam Hill is going on here? By gosh heck, I want to beat the tarnation out of this Fiddlesticks run." Thank you everyone for those wonderful, generous donations.
Yes, thank you very much. I will say, because this is probably going to be viewed at a later date without context, in my stream I have a bit of a running gag where the main swears that you can't say are not the ones that you would typically expect, but instead are cowboy swears from the 19th century. Saying any of those words does result in a ban, or at least a message deletion. Alright. Time for probably the second worst segment in the game. This is Monument Tower, Monument Island, which houses sort of what I would actually call the main character of the game, Elizabeth. She's been held captive here for the 19 years that she's been alive, and we're here to bust her out. Why? We're not exactly sure yet, but it is our job nonetheless. The reason I hate this segment so much is because, whoa, get the thing. Despite having your gun out and the ability to move rather quickly, there are 0 enemies in this entire segment. So it's basically just Cutscene City. There are some collectibles we need to get as though. I can't speak right now. We're going to be getting that, as well as this very secret hidden infusion behind the desk there. And now we get to meet Elizabeth. How do you feel about Elizabeth, Ghost? Because I know she's a very interesting character when it comes to the actual lore of this game, but as a speedrun, I consider her a bit of a liability. What are your opinions?
It's a bit of a love-hate relationship.
Fair enough.
I like her a lot, but yeah, when in a speedrun, she can be very frustrating.
Yeah, one of the things that makes her... There are 2 things that make her particularly frustrating. One of them is that in combat, she has the ability to basically give you things that you need during your fight. Your fight. She can give you health, she can give you magic power via assaults, or she can give you ammo that you're running low on. And sometimes when you're relying on her to give you one of those things and she does not, it is rather frustrating. The other thing is that she very nicely does not have collision when you're in a fight. However, when you're not in a fight, she has some of the best collision this game has to offer, which is extremely obnoxious when you're trying to fit through a tight corner or a doorway. And she's just sort of standing there. So if it wasn't painfully obvious, Elizabeth is quite the fan of Paris, France. She's got to open a portal to another universe here. We will later learn that these are called tears. And after almost being run over by an ambulance, or a fire truck perhaps, Booker is a little bit shaken, unsure of what he's seen. I'm going to do my very best to not explain any of the lore of this game because it makes what I do look more impressive. But I will if I have to, because
This job's getting...
man, does this game have a lot of cutscenes. How do you feel about this game's cutscenes, Ghost?
They're very long.
Yeah, they are.
It
One
could
of
be a
those-
whole movie by itself.
It literally could, and you probably wouldn't lose anything gameplay-wise either. I picked up one of the Vox phones there. I have it labeled on my splits as After Paris Terror, the OBS or operating broadcast system. I hate that particular Vox phone because it's in a dark room and the item itself is dark, and there's no real indication that you need to pick it up. Like, it doesn't really flash very well, so it's very easy to skip. And if you skip it, because this game is so linear, you can't go back, and you can't like pick up items that you missed like you could in BioShock 1 and 2. So you're basically screwed if you miss an item. So I'm going to be doing my very best to avoid that fate.
Why?
You don't want to be here when he gets here. Just a minute, I'm getting dressed.
Get you out of here.
There's no way out. Trust me, I've looked.
We're going to
Stop it,
be
you're here
watching
to
a
location,
rather
that's enough.
long walking simulator portion here where we meet another
Isn't it?
character called Songbird, a gigantic metal bird who wants to do nothing more than stab Booker. So while we do that and not actually have any fun gameplay, happy if you have any other things to announce. You can get one or two in here as well.
Wonderful. Well, I do have 2 more donations to read. We have $10 from Nimbus125 who says, "Thank you to everyone who's worked so hard to get this marathon off the ground. To everyone who's doing runs, commentary, or hosting, and to everyone for watching and donating. It's been a fantastic marathon so far." We also have a $10 donation from Pippi in a Top Hat, who says, "Here to throw at the gross racist..." Wait, this isn't a tomato? "Please fold part of this into an origami tomato, and then use it to purchase an actual tomato to throw at the racist, and give the rest to Planned Parenthood." :3 face squiggly thing. I don't really know how to convey that. How about just cute face? And with that, we are at $2,684.01. And we've got a couple of bid wars open right now. So we've got Hollow Knight, whether we talk to the Elderbug or not. Yes is at $85, no is at $20. And the bid war for the tunic color of the Minish Cap, we've got green in the lead with $565, purple in second with $299.01, blue at $165, and red at $163. So get those donations in, people. If you hate talking to Elderbugs, or if you hate green tunics, now is the time to donate. Back to you, Brady.
Alright, thank you very much. I'd like to give a bit of a pre-shout-out to Nimbus125, who, in addition to being one of the second-to-last runner of the marathon, has been an indispensable help in making sure that all of the early and late stages of the Raft Sub-Zero have gone as smooth as they have been. It's so nice to have such a dependable friend to bounce ideas off of and confirm that I'm not going insane. So please give a massive shout out to Nimbus125 in chat. He absolutely deserves it. This cutscene here is a pretty well-loved, intense one by casual players on their first time, right, Ghost? I think.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I'm just saying that people really like this cutscene generally, at least on a casual playthrough.
I really like the music. It's so wild.
The music, yeah. Well, not everything good can last forever, and we fall off the railing that is now being broken by Songbird into a pool of water, interestingly. That is not the ocean. Columbia just had the idea of making fake beaches, so luckily that was there, otherwise we would absolutely be dead. And we're going to learn here that Songbird has a bit of a pressure problem, you might say. Doesn't work well with low watery depths, which is then a question as to why we're not experiencing the same effects, but I guess that does not matter. We find ourselves in this completely not important room again. And we leave and find ourselves on a very pleasant beach with very nice music playing in the background.
There's this one trick in this game, like on the beach, and practicing that with that music in the background, it almost made me go insane.
Actually, while you're on that topic, since all we're going to be doing here is collecting a couple gears and vox phones and stuff, do you want to go over sort of the main differences between running this on console and running this on PC?
Let me.
Yeah, so most of the tricks involves you need a lot of frames for them to work, because for some reason this game, like, it breaks very easily with high FPS, and since on console you are locked to low FPS, those tricks are not possible.
Do you want to give some examples? Because I would love, because I hear about them all the time from other runners, and I'm just like, man, if only I could do that.
Yeah, so on this beach, there's, for example, this one little beach house that you can parkour on top of, and then you sort of glitch yourself on top. Yeah, it's just right where Variety is now. You get sort of launched on top of a platform, and then you can skip all of the... You can skip this, the dancing, when you go inside. So you can pretty much, with the HRH mod, you can like go straight to the HRH gear by jumping on top of that beach house, pretty much. It's really cool, and it's also very hard.
Yeah, one of the main things that this game has, because of its frame abusing, is a thing called elevators, if I remember correctly. That's like the basis of a lot of tricks when it comes to this game on PC, where you can basically scale walls and pillars by... I thought it was mashing jump, but I guess that's not actually correct.
Give a man a little
What was mashing jump?
What an elevator is.
Oh yeah, you're sort of mashing it, so people, like, they bind jump to scroll wheel, so it's easier.
Alright, Dandy said cage, right?
Yeah, let's do cage.
Alright, let's do cage.
The one on the left.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Let's go!
Love it.
I expected the bird.
If you're going to be a sore loser, then I shan't do this again.
Oh my god. I don't understand.
Alright, you can also elevator up this wall, if I remember correctly.
Are you alright?
Yeah, this elevator is really easy.
Get out of here.
Well, it's easy for you.
Smile.
Generally speaking, we like to have food here so we can rush to the store, but since there is none, we're going to pick up this man's unknown booze, which immediately puts us into a drunk state.
Nothing but books and spare time. You would be surprised.
Alright, this is the world famous HRH room. That's where you would typically reset over and over again to find the Hill Runner's hat, because it is the earliest place and it is the most convenient place, because there are two gears that are right next to each other.
Would you happen to have the time?
Do you want to start the cutscene, Elizabeth, please?
Just go. Oh,
There
a
you
bit
go.
closer. Oh yeah.
Excuse me?
Oh, it wasn't even worth it anyway, because there was no food in that trash can.
No.
This gets worse here every time we come back.
You give, thank you. I'm now 4.6 seconds behind. People pace pal leave.
Last customer. Park's closing. Park's closing, everyone.
So Elizabeth was correct. That was a bit of an awkward interaction, but that's because they're basically scouting out Elizabeth, and trying to recapture her from Booker, since this is basically a setup, I guess, is what I can say concisely.
To the First Lady airship.
Yeah, just a minute, friend. Yeah, I have it. How do you want to proceed?
We're gonna be mashing our L button here because we have two options, or I guess technically three options. We can either attack this guy, we can stand him up, or we can do nothing. Doing nothing is the worst one because it obviously wastes the most time, as well as gives us an extra cutscene where we get our hands stabbed, which is... I don't know about you, I'd rather not have that happen to me.
The less cutscenes, the better.
For sure. There's a Vox phone in this room over here. This wall is really stupid because even though it opens like now, it doesn't actually count as being fully opened until it's actually fully open. So these guys are effectively invincible until the wall is completely opened, or the door rather.
Where is she? Great.
We get to actually attack the guy who was trying to stab us. And we're going to get our last salts infusion of the game. We can only have a maximum of 10 in each category. You briefly explained it, but maybe you can be a little bit more explicit. Why are we specifically getting them in an order of salts, health, then shield?
I think it's just better like that.
Hey, come back here!
Right, so one of the main reasons for this is because when we have if and when we get HRH, which is hopefully soon, but you never know, once we get it, it gives us a huge speed boost when our shield is broken. So we're going to eventually get access to items, or weapons rather, that let you break your shields by damaging yourself. And the more shield you have, the harder it is to actually access the speed boost from Hillrunner's had. Getting a low health is also not fantastic early on because there's a lot of places where we actually do need to not only break our shield, but also kill ourselves. So having extra health for that just lengthens that process unnecessarily.
One thing I've learned. If you don't
This is a long cutscene where Elizabeth gets mad at us for killing people, but gets over it relatively quickly. So if you got any donations to read out, now's an awesome time to do so.
Fantastic. Well, I have some things to read indeed. People, we have incentives. A running list of donations can be found by typing !incentives in chat. Almost every run has something you can donate towards, ranging from art to making the Twilight Princess runners go off course to pick up bugs. You can donate to the cause by typing !donate in chat. The link will be open through the final Twilight Princess run, which will be about 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Sunday, December 18th. And again, you can find those by typing incentives. And one of our incentives is the Twilight Princess run, watching Midna's Desperate Hour cutscene as Human Link. We are at $114.01 right now, and we need $333 to unlock that. So we're just over $200 behind. This is a great time to get those donations in so that we can see that cutscene as Human Link. Normally you're seen as Wolf Link, but our clever runners have found a way to completely annihilate that game. Alright, Variety, I want to see some more Columbia action.
I don't know if I do, quite honestly. There's not... I wish there was,
tired.
I just wish there was more of it, you know? Like, there's so many periods of downtime in this game, which is understandable because it's a very narratively driven game. But when you're starting a speed run of it, it can get a little bit tiresome. Something that I do want to mention about the entire segment that I just did there is lockpick management. There's a lot of collectibles that are sort of hidden behind or locked behind these safes or doors, etc., that requires certain numbers of lockpicks to actually access. Having enough lockpicks and lockpick routing is a really big part of this run. I'm going to be extra cautious in this run and get way too many of them, because if you don't have enough, then you can't get a collectible, and that's really, really bad. So I'm going to be a little bit overzealous, I suppose, with my lockpick collection. Someone called a lockpicking lawyer. Ah! See, this is one of those instances where I'm glad that I have splits up, because I completely forgot to get a collectible that I need to get. It's over here in the ice cream shop. I wouldn't want to deprive chat of their ice cream, so I'm glad I remembered. I really wish I could make a bid war right now while running and make like a what's your favorite kind of ice cream poll. But unfortunately I feel like that would be rather difficult to do as I'm doing a speedrun. Although I can ask Ghost and Happy, what are your favorite ice cream flavors? And there's a correct answer.
My favorite ice cream is Tarnation ice cream. Oh, sorry, I know we're not supposed to say that word. I think my favorite word is, or my favorite ice cream. Oh, I'm so turned around now. My favorite ice cream is probably, this is going to be a little bit controversial, mint chocolate chip.
Jeez, just kill it.
No, it'll sting me.
Elizabeth.
Yeah, that is a bit controversial, I would say. I know it's well loved. I don't think it's rarely someone's favorite ice cream flavor. What about you, Ghost?
Pistachio for sure.
I've heard pistachio mentioned quite often. You know what? I think I would like mint chocolate chip a little bit more if it was like chocolate mint chip or something to that effect, where the ratio of chocolate to mint is sort of reversed. I really like chocolate ice cream because I'm basic, but whatever.
Yeah, chocolate's good. I also really love cookies and cream. You just can't go wrong with cookies and cream, especially like a good cookies and cream shake. Chef's kiss.
Okay, I'll give you the shake. I'll give you the shake. Not literally, because I'm doing a speed run, but I do like me a milkshake.
I don't understand what I just saw back there, but it sure as hell looks like a shortcut to getting us killed.
But I could help.
I can handle.
Alright, so we're actually going to be unlocking this door, but not actually going inside the door. Reason for that is because we're going to be collecting it on our way back, because it's a little bit more efficient to do it that way. Coming up, we get a fight that is relatively scripted if I do it correctly, but that is not guaranteed. We throw a big fireball trap at these guys, take them all out in one shot. Take out these two guys with 2 shots, and while we're reloading, grab some extra salts for this guy. It's not required that you take him out, but I like doing it because otherwise I take a little bit too much damage. As we reload, we can take out these remaining guys on the ground. We're going to throw 1 fire trap over here because there's going to be an extra guy that comes down from here as we wait for another crow enemy to jump. There he goes. We're also going to pick up what he dropped this time, which was Murder of Crows. Ghost, do you want to explain why we didn't get it the last time?
Yeah, so when you first get introduced to a vigor, you get this, it's always like the first time you encounter it, you get this cutscene, like you saw in the beginning. And that's very slow, so we want to avoid that at all costs.
Right, additionally, that does not apply to, well, thankfully, at least for our purposes, that does not apply for when you can pick up the vigor later in the game. That only applies to the literal first time that you can be introduced to it. So, for example, Murder of Crows we saw all the way back when we beat our first crow. However, because we didn't want that cutscene, by waiting to get it until now, we can pick it up without any consequence in time. So, rather unfortunately, in this little area, I think we do actually have to talk about lore. There's a lot of dead bodies here, and a lot of blood. A lot of really not fun things. Do you want to start the cutscene? Thank you. And that is because the city of Columbia is constantly in battle with a group called the Vox Populi. Because I'm too lazy and don't like the lore of this game, would you like to explain what the Vox Populi is?
Not gonna lie, I don't know much about it.
The Vox Populi are a rebellion group against the racism and effectively slavery of Columbia. Led by Daisy Fitzroy, who used to be a maid for the Prophet Comstock and his wife. So they are now going to be locked in battle for the rest of the game.
Variety, I can explain the Vox Populi. It's Latin for voice of the people, and they're really cool, and they have big guns that go blah, 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 and they throw grenades too, and they're the good guys, and yep, that's definitely the Vox Populi. How'd I do?
Most of that is correct. I would say the one thing that is not correct is that they're not actually the good guys throughout this entire game.
Oh no, that's a pretty big thing to get wrong. Curses. Oh well, maybe
Yeah,
next time.
there is actually a dialogue about that in the game. They talk about it, like, who really is the good guys? Or are we the good guys? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's
if
very
you know that.
confusing.
Yeah, this game tries to be a little bit more deep than it actually is, I feel like sometimes.
I've never played this game, so I was just taking my best guess. Carry on,
Pretty
folks.
good guess. I mean, you got, what, 80% of the way through it?
Can't go wrong with guns and grenades.
Slate Gondola and Mission Lockpick. Okay, so I am definitely behind, but I'm not as behind as I thought I was. Here we're going to be collecting a gun upgrade for damage boost to our RPG, because now we can finally damage ourselves. And we're going to be doing it a lot. We're not going to do it quite yet. You would think we're going to need to die very soon, but we don't want to actually take down our health quite yet, because we're going to be forced to collect a health infusion, which automatically restores our health. So we're going to be waiting for a little bit to actually deplete our health at the proper time. Very quick fight. So after we collect this health upgrade and all this money, we can start to blow ourselves up. So I hope you guys are ready to see a lot of that. While I'm doing this and hoping that I don't die, do you want to explain death warping really quick?
Yeah, so there are certain doors that have checkpoints behind them, like right behind them. If you damage yourself and wait for your shield to go up, you start running, and you die with your shield breaking, you sort of fall over in a little distance. So if you get through the door correctly, you will get the checkpoint, and yeah, you skip a little bit.
Yeah, we skipped two rather lengthy sections of the game where we fight a bunch of enemies, and we're gonna actually have to go back into those sections, but we won't have to do the fights associated with them, so we only have to collect the collectibles that are over there. We're actually going to be death warping yet again. After Elizabeth opens this door, I learned the hard way that if you open the door... Sorry, if you shoot yourself before the door is actually opened, Elizabeth gets soft-locked because she's alarmed that you're in combat, and when you're in combat, you simply can't open doors anymore. Of course, that didn't kill. There we go.
Scout ahead, see if there's some way to move forward.
That death warp, even though we did not actually get past the gate, lets us skip past that whole cutscene of us having to understand what Elizabeth's new power is, which is called opening tears. This game is very reliant on sort of the, how should we say, the environment in battles a lot of the time. Elizabeth can call things into existence that did not exist there before and are from other dimensions. For example, in this room, you can see that I can call in medical kits or salts or a gun automaton and assist me in fights when they would not normally exist in this universe. We're going to be met with a new, very threatening enemy called an Iron Patriot. So threatening, in fact, that it's going to go down pretty quickly. There it is. If I had less health in this, I would go ahead and Death Warp. Not Death Warp, I would... This is the problem with using the term Death Warp for a very specific kind of death. Because when you actually want to do a normal Zelda-type Death Warp, you have to call it something different, because it's not that same maneuver anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what to call this, actually.
Anyway.
You just die and skip her opening up the door, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly, which is what Zelda runners would call a Death Warp, but we have a very different definition of it, so... Yay, language. Alright, so now that we skipped this cutscene before, we're actually going to activate it now. And you might be thinking, well, if you have to watch it anyway, why bother skipping it in the first place? And that's because we can actually have it overlap with this long cutscene with Slate here, who is our accomplice during the soldier period of our life.
Not sure I understand this, but I'm not complaining.
I don't have any salts, actually. That's not great. We're going to set a couple traps on this door for enemies that are going to be coming down soon.
Give us the vigor. We don't need to do this.
Does that hit? It does, good. And we're going to basically spawn camp these guys here. Very nice. After that, this door that I just... this door that I just threw a trap at is going to open with a bunch of enemies who will... Hopefully most of them will die to this fire trap. And then the remainder of them will die to this bucking bronco vigor that I have, which basically raises enemies up into the air. Now, in any percent, assuming you do have Hill Runner's hat, it lets you skip this fight entirely by doing a very specific sequences of death warps and moving through the arena at very specific places. Unfortunately, because it's all collectibles, you can just still, like, technically do it because you do have access to HRH. However, the problem is there is a collectible in that door, so we actually have to do the fight. Otherwise, we would not meet our criteria of getting everything.
I just wanted to mention, like, one of the reasons why Elizabeth is sort of frustrating running this game is that when she throws you stuff, the button to interact and picking up stuff from her is the same one. So if you're not close enough to the thing you want to pick up, you will just take the thing she's throwing at you, and that loses time, and it's very annoying.
Yeah. That is definitely point 3 as to why Elizabeth is a bit of a nuisance in this run.
You're a Tin Man now! A Tin Man!
I want to see some robots in chat, because Slate just dubbed us Tin Men, so... I guess we're all robots now. We now have access to Shock Jockey, which will let us... What's going on in the story? I forgot. Which lets us basically activate a switch that did not have power before, or electrical power. So now with this ability called Shock Jockey, we can now activate the switch with our proper power.
You know, those vigors seem very powerful. I'll do what I can to keep you stopped these things.
Thanks.
Now we actually have to go back to those other places that I skipped. If I don't do it, because it's a gear on either side. If I did not do that, the run would be invalid. normally what you're supposed to do is go to the left of where I'm going right now and enter a fight with slates or against slates people, I guess. That is very long and locks you in there, and it's very annoying. So we're going to avoid doing that by simply not going into the fight, because we got what we really needed to get here for, which is Shock Jockey. No longer do we really need to actually activate that fight, because we've skipped so much of the game instead. And I still haven't gotten HRH yet. I would really appreciate it if we got some $1 donations that were just praying that we get HRH. Although I would like to remind people that during this run, and I guess last run, you can enter a raffle to potentially win a watercolor painting by our lovely Silver Banjos, who is the person who created the logo of the event, which you can see above me here.
You know, Variety, I do have a $1 donation already if you'd like.
Oh, do you?
I do. You Done Goop donates $1.99 and says, "Hey guys, long time Germany, first time Germany. You great Germany to save to a great Germany. Greetings from Germany. P.S. View the Germany and Germany the animal."
Yeah, last in the stream that I did before this one, we discovered the automatic GDQ like AI generator, which is basically just takes a bunch of keywords and phrases and sort of molds them together. It's pretty funny.
That sounds incredible. Also, do you want a couple more donations or do you want to wait for a bit?
Go for it.
Perfect. Well, Stakaro donates $20 and says, "Cheers to AVP and all the runners for showcasing great speedruns that deserve the spotlight, all for a much-needed service to society. Looking forward to what next year brings." And Beautiful Dandy donates $10 and says, "Raise your hand if you're a Tin Man." Alright, I'm done. For now, we'll have more donations, no doubt.
I certainly hope so. Now, this next, I guess it's a gear that I get is in a toy shop. And I just recently found a really unfortunate glitch that you can get whilst attempting to retrieve it, I suppose. If you're supposed to land next to this door and then open it by pressing the Y button. However, if you land in a very specific place, you actually clip through the door, but it doesn't load anything. So it doesn't lock you in there, but it like very unhelpfully lets you go into the building, but not able to interact with anything. So it's just sort of a waste of time.
What did that teach you?
Oh wow, I actually didn't know about that.
Yeah, I got it like I think 2 runs ago. It was really obnoxious. Alright, so now with our newfound powers of electricity, we can activate the switch that we were locked behind before. And while Comstock decides to give us a bit of a lecture, we can go into this hidden room and collect some additional lockpicks as lockpicks. There it is. As well as another gear and another Vox phone that is required for the run.
Prophet, whomever you are, I'm leaving and there's naught you can do to stop me.
Oh, sweet child. That's where you're...
Alright, so this next fight has 2 ways of doing it, the fast way and the slow way. I know the slow way, I know the fast way, I'm just far more consistent at the slow way, so we're going to be seeing the slow way, which I think looks cooler, but, that's just me. We're going to intentionally get hit, we don't really need to take damage. And these guys are really obnoxious, they have a ton of health, but one thing that they're really weak against is fire, as well as electricity. So by making sure that we've lit the enemy on fire via our fireball trap, we can subsequently shoot them with a rocket launcher and that should take them out pretty quickly. one of the you saw there, one of the rocket launcher guys just decided to jump off the edge for some reason. I'm glad he did, because it saves me the time of having to take him out. Next, what we can do is sort of spawn camp these next 5 guys who are going to try to get me here. The first 2 will be taken up by these traps, and then we can shoot the remaining 3 with our shotgun. There go the first 2. There's 1, 2, and 3. Now we know where the other enemies are going to actually spawn. They're going to spawn from this corner and this corner. So what we can do is sort of wait on this skyline, wait for them to come to us, shoot 2 of them, and then skyline strike the last one, which is basically a way of... Ooh, I actually messed that up. Intriguing. Well, I guess we're doing it the extra slow way, because I'm not used to doing it like this. Alright, that should be okay. I think I've managed to retrieve it, because no, I did not. That's really unfortunate. Well, we're going to be doing this the mega slow way today, but that's okay. You know what, actually, is it worth taking out the... It might be actually worth taking out the Tin Man now. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't do it this way, so I just make sure everyone's dead before I kill this.
There we go. Now normally, ideally, rather, there should not be any enemies left after that little interaction with that Patriot who was coming towards us, but because I messed up the fight, which I never do, I guess we had to try to locate the remaining people. They're actually being super obnoxious right now because normally they're actually just on the platform next to the gondola, which is really easy to find, but I guess they're deciding to be meanies today.
Can you open this, Elizabeth?
There you go.
Alright, we'll be performing yet another rather traditional sort of death warp. After Elizabeth says a certain line in her little speech, we're going to once again destroy our health bar, which will warp us to the top of this little gondola ride without actually having to wait for it and bore the audience even more than they probably are.
It was a fine thing you came along when you did.
How do you think I ended up here?
I'm not bored.
And now I owe money.
This is super interesting, and I want to see the Tin Man destroyed and annihilated.
You're not bored? Well, just wait till we get the vigor that turns people into wood.
I'm not scrap lumber. I'm not scrap lumber, no. Also, we're getting a $1 donation train going. Would you like me to read some of them?
Yeah. I don't... Because I just don't... That was the weirdest health interaction I've ever seen in this game. Yeah, go for it.
Okay, perfect. Well, everyone, we've got several $1 donations. Inkinid donates $1 and says, praying for HRH. Beautiful Tandy donates $1 and says, HRH Prage. Pippi in a top hat donates $1 and says, I found HRH. Wait, no, that's just money again. Wait, no, it's not. That's where I put my tomato. And Comics donates $10 with no comment. Thank you, everyone, for those fun donations. Thank you for supporting His Royal Highness, King Charles III. Oh, wait, no. We're trying to find... Wait, what was HRH again? Remind me.
Wait, what is that? 40 north by buy 74.
Oh, is that an actual question?
Yes, I actually do not remember what HRH stands for.
HRH is short for Hill Runner's Hat, which is the
Hill
fast
Runner's
food.
Hat, of course.
I owed money, and there's a fellow. He offered to wipe away my debt in exchange for.
So Elizabeth is pretty upset at us that we're not actually taking her to Paris. We're taking her to New York to trade her for money, basically. So she rather justifiably hits us with a wrench. Do you perhaps have any announcements to make? Because this is an extremely long cutscene where we meet Daisy Fitzroy, the leader of the Vox Populi, but there's really not too much important that happens. So if you got anything, give it to us.
Leader of the Vox Populi, the good guys with guns and grenades. I love those people. But yes, I do have some messages and updates. So thanks to all of those wonderful donations, we are currently at $95 for talking to the Elderbug and Hollow Knight, and $20 for not talking to the Elderbug. So more people are saying, yes, we love Elderbugs. Thank you everyone for being pro-social. And for the Minish Cap bid war for the tunic color, we've got red at $163, blue at $167, green at $576, and purple at $321. Green is looking like the University of Alabama football team of tunic colors, completely unstoppable. So definitely, people, if you don't want to roll tide, get those donations in. Now, I also want to remind people, when we started this marathon back in June 2022, we didn't know that there were going to be more Rejects and Friends marathons. So now, in the future, because we're having such a successful time, our future events are going to be on twitch.tv/Rejects and Friends. You can find a link to it by typing !new channel in chat. We hope that you'll go follow it so that you can make it a great hub for our communities for future marathons. And I just gotta say, I love this event because it brings all of our communities together. There's so many people, in fact, Vishanti in chat and I were just talking about this. There are so many different communities that kind of like squish and meld together as a result of this marathon. And we all follow each other and get together and watch each other, and it is so heartwarming to see. So thank you everyone for supporting this marathon, and we hope you'll go follow us on Rejects and Friends so we can start building that up as our shared community. Okay, Randy, back to you.
Lovely, thank you so much. Good timing as well, because we get to move after Booker takes 3 blows to the head. That should absolutely kill him, but whatever. Pick up a little bit of Voxphone here. Do a little bit of a movement optimization here, that instead of going to the left, you can go on these rails to the right. Saves just probably less than a second, but I like doing it anyway. This is Pipe Skip, which if you're on PC is different, but we can do the simple version of it on console. And this game has like a pseudo-morality system where like sometimes if you do something when enemies aren't attacking you, like there's like, for example, this gear, you're not supposed to pick it up because, oh no, that would be stealing and then they'd be after you. But because we're playing on easy and there's no repercussions to taking damage, it's sort of a no-brainer. Alright, well, Elizabeth is still upset at us, so it's time to run after her. Ghost, do you happen to know the any percent PC strategy for this particular run through the gallows here, or do you not? Are you not familiar with it?
There is actually no strategy. You have to run after her.
You do have to run after her, but there's a death warp elevator that you do.
Wait, there is?
Yeah, I've seen Cal do it.
Oh, yeah! Oh, right. Oh, God. I haven't seen that, actually, a lot. I haven't actually done that myself. I completely forgot about that.
I mean, I haven't done it, obviously, because I run it on the suboptimal console, but I guess all consoles are suboptimal, but the Switch is like the lowest of the low.
There's gotta be another way in.
Yeah, I just had completely forgotten about that. I've only seen Prisoner do it a couple of times. So yeah.
This fight is also pretty scripted once you get used to where all the enemies are coming at you from. This little infusion here in the jail is extremely easy to forget. I've forgotten it multiple times, which is why in my splits, there's like 10 stars next to the word jail. Here's yet another rocket guy, and we're actually going to pick up this guy's weapon. It's called the volley gun. And the reason we need to pick it up is because it is the other main weapon that lets you hurt yourself. And we're going to be needing to do that quite a bit, and having 2 weapons that do that instead of just one is really helpful. Now we're faced with a handyman enemy who we're going to fight, I believe, a total of 2. Like, there's a lot more of them in the game, but I think we only fight 2 of them in this category. Is that right, Gust? We fight one in Emporia.
Handyman?
Yeah, we fight one in Emporia. Where's the other one we fight? I feel like we fight 2 of them.
Oh,
in Finkton.
Yeah.
The factory. They're basically like the big daddy equivalents of this game. Really big attack, really resistant to damage, etc. They're the only enemy, I think, that is explicitly vulnerable to Murder of Crows. Which is why you pick up Murder of Crows in the first place. I've actually become a convert of not actually picking up Murder of Crows and using it because it's not as efficient, I think, as just using the fireballs, but I picked it up anyway out of habit.
But you're also my only means of reaching Paris.
I think it's really good because when you get when they get the Murder Crows effect, they sort of stand still and start like trying to kill the crows or whatever, so you can shoot the heart. If you throw the fireballs, they just they don't get stunned, they just jump around like normally.
Right. So this volley gun is so good that we're going to pick up another damage boost for it. And before we enter this place, we're going to fill up on basically everything, because this next section can get a little bit dicey. And we're going to need to die quite a bit, so having a lot of ammo to do that is very nice.
That would be your gunsmith.
Alright, so we're going to eventually need to take out these 2 guards that are standing here, but before we do that, we're going to pick up this Voxfound and this pick. And like I said before, Elizabeth does not open doors when in combat, because of course she doesn't. So we're going to have her open this door first, and once that's open, I'm going to shoot a rocket launcher in here and take them both out. I'm going to open this door and actually throw 3 fireball traps onto the stairs because there's going to be reinforcements that come through this angle. There's a small fight here with some more Patriots and normal enemies. Not too difficult.
Catch, Booker.
Got it.
Alright, so my traps, this does not always happen, but my traps up there did actually successfully take out those enemies. And I actually have so much health here that I'm not going to kill myself like I'm normally supposed to. I'm just gonna run back up. Ideally you have less health than that, so all that you have to do is death warp yourself back up to the top of the surface, but we actually also have a gear that I want to take off. Urgent care. Oh, of course. I forgot we had to do that. I completely forgot my own advice. We are going to need to eventually have 0 health, so we're going to take the liberty to do that now. That should be enough.
Elizabeth.
And we're going to perform a very, very fun jump here.
Please.
Alright, stand next to the elevator and do a dead. We spawn outside of the... Ideally we do. I did not. So we get to do that whole process again.
Oh no. You ended up here.
Yeah, it's not too big of a deal. It's not as bad as... Well, I guess there's no real worse thing that you can get in this run. In any percent, if you mess that jump up, it's actually catastrophic. But here, it's probably the worst it can get. Let's try that again.
I think...
There we go. So by jumping at a specific angle, we can avoid the extremely long cutscene that involves going down the Finkton elevator and simply wind up here.
Do you know what Daisy Fitzroy and her anarchist cronies want for you?
Help me out with this rock.
They say, throw down.
Do you want to explain exactly where we are?
I tell you, the moment you do.
Racist man land.
Racist capitalist manland, yeah. This is basically the haven of Jeremiah Fink. So we're going to be spending the next few minutes, the next long time, trying to unravel his little empire here.
Yeah, this part is very long, especially in glitchless.
Oh, and glitchless is awful.
Spent 49 days under Bodhi tree until he achieved enlightenment.
Hello? Hello?
Alright, so one of the things that Daisy Fitzroy commanded us to do in order to get our airship back is to find a gunsmith named Chen Lin. This is Chen Lin's wife, who is very sad that the police have taken Chen Lin away from his home. And so we're going to be tasked to find him in a place called the Good Time Club. So I want to see some dancing, as well as some other partying-esque emotes, because we're going to be all having a good time in the Good Time Club.
Where did they take him?
Spoiler alert, we won't.
Where is this club?
You didn't have to tell them that.
Man, please, where is this club?
Booker will find it. Just leave her be.
Why not Vox fully help Chen Lin?
I see, this is the thing with Elizabeth. Because she's here, we can't actually move past here. I know it's technically a locked cutscene as well, but they very specifically positioned Elizabeth with collision there so that you can't leave there. But before we do that, we're going to get one more gear that's on the roof of this place, which is one that I completely missed in my casual playthrough, because why would I ever go up here? But and we still haven't found HRH yet, because of course we haven't. There is a handyman, I don't know if you heard it, there's a handyman behind me, but we don't fight him, because if we don't have to do a fight in this game, we absolutely do not do it. This game did not take the Max Payne 3 route of you actually having to do most of the fights. You actually can skip many of them. So this fight here is a little bit strange because it all relies on knowing where the enemies are going to spawn. And I know where most of them spawn, but sometimes I miss one of my little fire traps here. I think there's one that comes down here. There's also some volley guns over here that we're gonna get because we were pretty low on ammo for that. It's not a huge deal if you miss it, it's just a little bit of extra time. What's mostly annoying is that there's an enemy that drops onto one of these and then another enemy that drops right on top of that again, which is not my favorite interaction, but what can you do? This is basically a gauntlet fight against a bunch of waves of enemies. This is actually rather scary on hard and 1999 mode, but because we're playing on easy, there's almost no challenge. We can basically spawn camp all these enemies in this first wave. That was really slow, wasn't it? We know there's gonna be yeah, I mean, we know there's gonna be a crow that spawns here. So we're going to make sure that there's fireballs available to take him out immediately, and watch as all these guys jump onto our fireballs.
Take this.
Great.
There seems to be one more. Yeah. That one exploded already, which is unfortunate. I know he shows up there. Finally, we're going to need to use Shock Jockey again, because our final battle is against the automatons. I guess I can start placing these here. Out of the way, Elizabeth. Luckily, these most automata enemies that are not simply that are not Iron Patriots or Handyman will normally go down to one hit with Shock Jockey, then one hit with the volley gun. Now, I don't know of a way to actually get into these doors faster, because in here and down there are where our next collectibles are. Do you know of any way? Am I just doing this category incorrectly?
I have no idea.
Sure you will, Fink. Okay, here we go. Pick up this gear here. Is it HRH? It's not, because of course it isn't. And then all that's down here is an infusion. I need to stop throwing one there. I always do that, and it's never actually useful. Alright, so coming up here, we're going to just be getting a few more books, a few more collectibles, nothing really of note, so if there are any announcements to make, now is a fantastic time to make them.
You're a modern woman. It's 19...
Look.
Or not, perhaps.
Can you open this, Elizabeth?
Let me have a look.
I used to work for folks like Fink.
Really?
And I was with the Pinkertons.
Well, I suppose not.
They called
That's
us
okay.
when the workers got restless.
To do what?
Demonstrate the folly of men striking, throwing down tools.
You hurt people.
I'll tell you this.
Instead, we get to say hello to our friend Slate. Do you remember Slate, the very electrical man who was terrorizing us in the Hall of Heroes? We actually get to say hi to him. Because we spared him, the Comstock organization decided to do the next logical thing and torture him to the point of
Ain't no privies down here.
lack of cognizance, I guess.
Elizabeth?
So while Elizabeth is opening that door, we can go say hello to Slate in here and put him out of his misery. The reason we didn't kill him before is because it's slower.
To deserve to be locked up in a place like
Got a lock here. Fink don't need much for a reason.
No. No, he doesn't. This is it, isn't it?
Yep. Number 9.
All done.
Do it? You're a lion. But you can't blame me for looking after my own interests, can you?
Alright, so Chen Lin is indeed down here, but he's not looking so hot, you might say.
You'll find your business with her has come to an end.
And this is basically a really long cutscene where we basically go into the alternate dimension instead of just simply opening one up. So I will attempt one more time. If there are any announcements to make, now is a great time to make them.
He's dead.
What? How the hell did...
I see.
Absolutely. Well,
It's all a matter of
just want to update everyone on
Who sent you?
our incentive for the Midna's Despot Hour cutscene
Listen.
and that ain't
as Human Link. That is at $169 out of 333. So
Mother Columbia.
we are making some really good progress on this one. Thanks to everyone in chat who's helping out with this. We've got a little time, but we don't want to let up on this one because that is going to be a super fun cutscene. Also want to remind everyone that during this game only, you can type !current in chat to see the current incentive that you can donate towards. !incentives, on the other hand, will let you see all of the incentives for the rest of the marathon. So if you're interested in seeing what's available right now, you go ahead and type that !current in chat. That's all for me for now, Variety.
Thank you very much. We're gonna pick up that pick here because, oh man, losing, not having enough picks is very nerve-wracking. And pick up another codebook.
I don't suspect you can.
Ghost, do you remember what's happening on the story here?
There's a lot of confusing things happening here right now. Because we're not only traveling through time and space one time, we're doing it another time very soon.
Very hilariously, when you're doing this on any percent or gearless or any of those major skip categories, you don't undergo the animation of changing dimensions, so the game sort of changes dimensions without your consent, basically. It like assumes that you did do it, so characters are talking about things that they have done in a dimension that has not actually occurred. Is that low enough health? Is that 1 HP? I can't actually tell.
I think. I hope.
Let's go find that gunsmith. Maybe he's upstairs now. Mr. Lin? Chen Lin?
Also, it appears my stream closed. Would you like me to open my stream back up?
Excuse me, ma'am. I'm looking for Mrs. Lin.
I'm Mrs. Lin.
No, I mean a little Chinese lady. She was...
Booker, this is Mrs. Lin.
They took Chen's tools. What's he got without his tools?
Well, your husband...
What does Chen have without his tools? So, after we have this discussion with this lady, she annoys us so much that we're just gonna shoot the ground and take us all out.
Goddamn police. They took them and locked them up in the impound in Shantytown.
Would having his tools back.
Now, the main reason for doing this is because where we respawn is right next to a gear, or a Vox phone rather, which is very nice.
Jeremiah think has a philosophy. You see, a colony is like...
About what? I didn't...
It's all right.
The ground sure does take a beating in this game. GMO Pasto.
I'm sorry.
I've never dismounted there before. I guess that's okay. Terrific. Welcome to Shantytown, and this is home to probably the most difficult trick in the run. And it's not even that hard. I'm just, for some reason, I'm really bad at doing it. It involves a death warp through a door after we take a lot of damage. In a fight where taking damage is really easy. So the thing that you normally see happen is that you accidentally take too much damage from the enemies. Hopefully this does not happen to me.
Giant bird creature. It must seem ridiculous.
You just got dealt a bad hand.
I am not going back to that tower no matter what happens.
They won't stop until they have.
Why? What did I do to them?
You frighten them.
Good.
Alright, here we go.
To keep you so hungry,
before she pays us. We're here for guns and then the airship.
All right, wait, we met the BioShock Infinite, we met the cutscene incentive, right? I think we did.
Yeah, we did.
All right, so everyone get out your cozy blankets after we pick up a couple things here. We're going to be listening to some guitar music. All right, there's no way this can be beat out, but that's a worthy sacrifice.
Will the circle be unbroken by and by, by and by? Is a better home awaiting in the sky, in the sky?
All right, thank you for donating for that. A very nice, peaceful moment in this godforsaken hectic run. Gotten a couple golds in this run, but it definitely can't PB anymore. Alright, I'm gonna start damaging myself now. Do not give me health. Yeah, that's something that's really obnoxious about Elizabeth as well. She's sometimes way too good at her job, which is really obnoxious when we want her to not be good at her job. Because when you're very low on health, she'll try to give you health, which is really bad when you're trying to death warp, obviously. Alright. What do you think the chances are of me getting this first try, Ghost?
100%.
100%? Wow. That's some faith.
Pro gamer.
Pro gamer. Why aren't you reloading your fucking gun? That didn't kill? That's really bad. Okay. Oh my god.
Saved!
Saved. That should not have worked, but I'm certainly glad it did. Pick up the lockpicks here. Alright, now we got a little bit of a scripted fight here. I say scripted, but it's just really well planned out. Take out this one guy over here. One guy in here. Grab Elizabeth's ammo that she throws through the door, because she's just that powerful. Luckily, a lot of them decided to pile onto me here. Eventually, this will lead to a Patriot coming out. There it is. Still not done. Who's left? There you are. I'm sorry, did you live then? How did he live a rocket launcher? Intriguing. Picking up some more stuff here.
Just what the doctor ordered.
And now, rather unfortunately, we've picked up our final health infusion, which means we have to dump the rest of these infusions into shield, which is really obnoxious because we didn't even get HRH, so we couldn't use HRH to the fullest extent of possibility, which is very sad. I faced this problem a lot last... Elizabeth, do you want to maybe come down here, please? Thank you. I faced this problem last run. That problem being, Elizabeth sometimes just doesn't give you the thing that you need. which includes,
There. Who are we really
which rather unfortunately includes ammo when you really need ammo.
make a change, can't she? Make things better for you.
Sure. Well, we sure as hell aren't gonna be able to carry all this back to the shop.
Get some money here, and these are Chen's tools, by the way. But
It's like a tear to another version of this room that doesn't have
we obviously can't carry these, so the solution to the problem is to simply open another dimension and make it so they're already back there. Seems a little bit more complicated, but
Sure you want to go?
what do I know? Any interdimensional beings in chat that can confirm or deny for me if that's easier? No, obviously.
Come on, let's head back to the gunsmith and finish her. I aim to be on that airship and well shut it this much.
There's going to be a revolution just like Les Miserables. These people are gonna have better lives. Can you feel it?
Wait, skip that one, skip that one. Next one's Fox Photo. Which I'm losing a lot of time on. Alright, so after transporting this dimension, we learned that Booker DeWitt in this universe was basically a hero. He helped the Vox Populi with their revolution, and they are now revolting against Comstock. In the process, however, we did die. So the fact that we are back is very confusing to these guys, so to the extent where Daisy decides to put a little bit of hit on us.
Down the health heroes.
Which we will see in a little bit here.
Come back to me. We're going to find Daisy Fitzroy.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Alright, we're gonna kill one of our new friendly allies because we want to make sure we get his food. If he has any food. He does not have food. No food. Okay. See, this is what I mean with Sugar Rush being really obnoxious. It's just... sometimes you get food, sometimes you don't.
In this world,
These folk need another classic hero. When it comes down to it, the only difference between Comstock and
You know what I did not do before starting this run and my 2 subsequent host shifts is eat something. So that'll be fun.
Oh no.
Alright, so you might remember that one door that we lockpicked immediately as we went into Finkton after that huge jump that we did. The payoff for that is actually going to come up now. It's just the most convenient time to actually go into that door. Because normally you would think that you could just, oh, you get the door, you can find your collectible that you need. However, the only reason that you can't actually do anything in that locked door until you get, what's the word? That I can't think of. Until you get the code book from the Good Time Club. So now that we're coming back to it and we're so close to it, now is the perfect time to actually interact with it. We're gonna run all the way up here first so that Elizabeth comes in here, please. Faster, thank you. And then we can run back and get this lockpick.
Poster.
what about it?
This is what the code is for. The broken clock tolls at midnight.
This looks like the one.
Set it to midnight.
Alright. Get all the fancy goodies in here. And I suppose if I must talk about lore, now's a good time to do it because there's a little bit of lore happening. Chen Lin and Mrs. Lin are now dead.
No, this is
in this universe. So Elizabeth is now questioning her abilities of changing, of transporting people to other dimensions. Are they good or are they bad? And she has this whole crisis. But the thing about Elizabeth is that her mental crises don't last for very long.
Are you sure, Booker? Did I just bring us to a world where Shenlong was alive, or did I create it?
This fight against the bridge. Oh, this is what I was meant to test, Ghost. Should I test it right now? No. I'll do it the normal way. Unless you think I should test it right now. What do you think?
I mean, it should work.
You think it should? Okay, if you think it should work, then I will do it, because I trust you. Alright, so we're going to be attempting to do another death warp here. We're going to turn our difficulty onto hard again, so we can take as much damage as humanly possible. And then we're going to throw ourselves through this gate. Nope. Why didn't I go through the door? Do you want to talk about how terrible the health bar system is in this game?
Yeah, so it's not just Infinite, but it's also in all of the BioShock games.
Oh,
When
is
you
it
get to, when you get like all the way down like your health, you have invincibility frames. You get through those by damaging yourself more. And then basically next time you get hit, you die instantly.
Or at least that's the ideal.
Yeah.
What ends up happening is that sometimes it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it could seem random sometimes. But it
Yeah, it doesn't work.
usually... Oh, it doesn't work. That's so weird.
I was
wonder
pretty
why.
sure it didn't work.
I wonder why, actually, because it works on PC.
Is it a HRH thing, perhaps?
I didn't check that. I don't think so.
Alright, so... Well, oh, jeez. Our final enemy in this little area is a blimp, so... If you like blimps, you're gonna have a field day with this one. But there's really not much to say about the fight. We just go up and break the engine, so... If Happy Bear has any additional things to say, now's a fantastic time.
Wonderful. Well, I do have a donation of $5 from Renegade Boss, who says, "Good luck beating up the Sky Dorks for a good cause." Thank you for that $5 donation, Renegade. Now, for those of you who may have just joined us, this is the Rejects and Friends Sub-Zero Winter Speedrunning event, benefiting the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. This was conceived as a way to feature members of our community who were declined from other mainstage speedrunning marathons and evolved into something way more than that. We hope to keep it going as a showcase of our community's many talents and abilities. You can see the schedule by typing !schedule in chat. Now we do have a couple bid wars open, and one of them is the Hollow Knight Talk to Elder Bug bid war. Currently, Yes is in first with $95, and No is bringing up the rear with $20. Very impressed with how all of you, or most of you I guess, seem to like talking to Elder Bugs. Good on you. And then we've got the Minish Cap Tunic Color Bid War. Red with 163, blue with 167, green with 576, and purple with 321. So if you have those strong preferences as far as tunic color for that Minish Cap run, get those donations in. Alright, Variety, over to you.
Alright, ironically, I called you in to talk during the part where there were things happening, and now I'm going to be talking in a place where nothing is happening, so that's okay. One thing that I'd like to say is that the Talk to Elderbug thing is not simply a fun thing that we can do. it is also it's not way slower, but it is slower to talk to the elder bug. So much in the same way that Nat's run started us off with a hurt or save the animals thing. One of them is a faster option. The same thing applies to Elderbug. Not talking to Elderbug is notably faster, and I think that's the option that most people should be choosing if they value speed. But I guess if you want to be a nice person, you can talk to the Elderbug, but he doesn't mind. He understands.
I don't value speed. I love sitting around and being peepo comfy.
I guess, but I don't know if you've played Hollow Knight, but that world's pretty much set to die. So I think there being a little bit expedient is perhaps warranted.
I don't know nothing about Hollow Knight. I've never played it.
I would absolutely recommend it. Willow is going to make short work of it, but I hope that their run still inspires people to pick it up. It's a really fantastic game.
Yeah, so I'm very sorry, but apparently I missed the part where Prisoner actually does the drop cloth trick before that part, and that's how you skip that checkpoint. So I am very sorry. I had no idea.
I mean, it's good we learned something, and that's learning's half the battle, or something like that. I don't remember.
Little help.
So yeah, you might have just noticed me shooting the Vox Populi people, and that's because no HRH still. Daisy has sort of turned them on us because we're in a universe where now where we died. The fact that we are Booker means that we are probably an imposter. So we are now an enemy to both Comstock's army as well as the Vox Populi. So we have no friends in this game anymore. And neither should Elderbug. We should all not talk to Elderbug. Oh, speaking of the racist. There he goes. Alright, so this fight starts off pretty simply with this ship here. Jump over here, make sure you equip Brocking Bronco, because these firemen are suspiciously very weak to Bucking Bronco for whatever reason. I'm not going to complain, but it's good to know their weakness. There will subsequently be a lot of enemies that spawn up here, or at least try to jump up here with us. And we're going to basically spawn camp them as they attempt to do that. In the meantime, we're going to use our new vigor called Undertow, which admittedly looks very uncomfy when you look at Booker's left hand. But unfortunately, I must tell you that it is indeed the most useful vigor in the entire game. I think Ghost can corroborate that, right?
Yes. It's very nice.
Would you like to explain why?
You can throw people off ledges. Nice.
That is one reason, yeah.
What is the other reason?
You can pull people towards you.
True.
From far away.
It is basically just telekinesis from the first couple games.
Indeed.
It's just a fancier version of it.
Oh, I'm out of ammo for that. See, this is what I mean. I would really like it if Elizabeth decided to give us ammo, but she's not right now. That fight was not too bad. So to show that Daisy is now an unhinged character, we are now going to be greeted with a really tactful cutscene where she's about to kill a child. Luckily, in DLC Episode 2, it explained that it was all an act, that Daisy had no intention on killing the child. It was just a way to get Elizabeth to kill her, because otherwise there would be no way for her revolution to succeed, as told to them by... Oh, God, I was gonna mention Lutesses, but then if I say the word Lutesses, I have to explain what they are. I'm just gonna push that onto you. Tell us what Lutesses are, Ghost likely.
Oh, God. Well, so...
Sorry, not sorry.
Elizabeth.
So Rosalind Lutece is the one that she invented time traveling, and this is why all of this is happening, pretty much. She found herself in a different dimension, where she was born as a male, brought him back with her, and together they were working with Comstock. And yeah, we will eventually learn their fate. Yeah.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of time. It's the next section of the game where we go to Emporia.
This story is just very complicated. It's very hard to explain.
Yeah, well, it's even harder to explain when you put it in context of BioShock 1.
True.
Listen.
How do you do it?
Which, I guess if we do end up playing the DLC today, I guess we're gonna have to explain.
How do you wash away the things that you've done?
Oh yeah, Elizabeth has new hair, by the way.
You don't. You just learn to live.
Nice.
So the moment of truth between us. New York or Paris? No, 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 no!
Shit. Come on, we gotta find a way to make this thing go faster.
There's gotta be some sort of throttle or accelerator.
Do you know what that looks like?
I don't know.
Help me find it! Elizabeth! Hang on to something!
All right, so it's time for a little bit of a music lesson here. You're going to hear the Luteces in the background playing this piano and trying to play the melody that we'll call Songbird. Now, Elizabeth is justifiably pretty frightened by this notion. She doesn't want to be attacked by Songbird again.
We've gotta stop them.
But we get a little bit of a music lesson here, where there's multiple aspects to music. It's not just pitch that makes music.
Stop it, you don't know what
In particular, we're going to be introduced to the word timbre here. Timbre is basically the sound of the actual pitch, as opposed to the pitch itself. So even though, like they just said, even though the pitches were correct, the instrument or the sound of the pitches was not correct. Therefore, it did not call the bird. So this game is teaching us a lot of things.
Comstock uses these songs. Are there others we can use? Something to keep the bird off our back?
Perhaps you should ask the maestro himself.
So where is he? Of course.
I find it weird why the Luteces didn't just tell him there what to do.
They probably did the Doctor Strange, like, oh, we saw so many universes, this is the only one that works. Alright, so there's normally a really long fight here, but by jumping to the side of that railing, we just stop it from ever spawning, which is really, really nice. Yeah, this fight is actually really long, and it's actually rather difficult. This is the first time where enemies can really use, like, the hail fire weapon against you, which is basically the volley gun, but Vox themed, and it does a lot of damage to you.
Yeah, like, when I run glitchless, I almost never pay attention to my health, but here I actually have to be careful, because I've actually died a couple of times.
I honestly don't know why they made that fight, and that fight specifically, so difficult. No HRH yet. What is this?
Oh
this
no,
is the worst
so
one
unlucky.
Of all time.
Oh no.
Fitzroy's no better than Comstock. Was she?
Once people get their blood up, it ain't easy.
So we're also going to get access to one of my favorite abilities in this game called Charge. Would you like to explain Charge to the audience?
So with Charge, you aim the vigor at a person and you just launch yourself to them, and it's so cool.
Yeah, let me show you. Oh my god, that's so satisfying.
It's
like
such
the
a
most
cool animation.
It's the most satisfying thing in this entire game. And I wish that it was introduced to us earlier, because that would be so. Then this run would be so much more fun. But no, they have to introduce it to us like 2/3 of the way through the run.
I saw something once when I first got here. A dream. It was New York, but larger than.
Yeah, I sort of wish they introduced most of the vigors like more earlier in the game, so you could have more fun, like
Exploring
from the middle to the end.
Yeah,
I feel like they're too spread out.
I 100% agree with you. All right, are you gonna give me ammo for the right weapon? You're not, because of course you're not.
Can you open this, Elizabeth?
I would have much preferred volley gun ammo, but you can't get everything in life, I guess. Alright, so coming up, we're going to be performing the most... This is probably the most critical death warp of the run, don't you think? If you mess up this death warp, you have to watch... You have to either do the fight that comes afterwards, or watch this entire long cutscene again. It's luckily not too difficult of a death warp, but it can be pretty obnoxious regardless. Basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be jutting myself through a wall, but because the cutscene doesn't, sorry, the checkpoint does not actually exist past that wall, or the gate rather, we have to let Elizabeth unlock the gate, but sort of shield ourselves from view from the sniper people who are going to be past that gate. You'll see what I mean. It's hard to visualize that just from text alone.
What's odd? The fact that we sometimes
finish each other's sentences.
Exactly.
It would be odder if we didn't.
How do you suppose they managed?
Okay, here we go.
I'll get back to you after I figure out the floating city bit.
Door, thank you. How much you want to bet that Hellrunner's hat's gonna be the literal last one, though, again?
Oh no.
If it is, then... Yeah, I'll take that. It's hilarious.
That is like super unlucky if that
It would be
happens.
extremely unlucky.
Give me a second. It's done.
Alright, time to damage yourself down. That's why we bought all that ammo. Do not give me that health, or I will shut off this run immediately. Okay, we should be good. All pigs deserve to die. Man, it's pretty harsh. Alright, here's that death warp. Let's hope we don't mess it up. We need to damage down our shield just a little bit first, then we can go through. If you don't damage your shields a little bit before you do it, you'll find yourself in a situation where your rocket launcher doesn't actually break your shield and kill you. That's the sort of problem with getting shield upgrades, is because you can't death warp nearly as easily. But luckily we got it just fine. Wrong vigor. I will take that ammo, thank you. Saves me from having to buy some.
Need some help with this.
Keep a lookout.
Wow, thank you for... I hate this character.
He's so slow sometimes.
She's so slow. Not Hellrunner's hat.
Oh man.
There's gonna be some enemies to fight up here. Shot, 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 shot. Thank you. There's gonna be more enemies out here. I cut his balls off. Oh no. Oh. Alright, so the reason why we did that death warp is because even though normally we have to defeat enemies all around us in order to open gates, we no longer have to do this and waste a lot of time doing this fight, because this fight is really long. Again, it's not very hard because you have Undertow, but it's definitely very long. Now, as we come back here, we're gonna get a couple extra things. Hi. That was very strange. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Not Hill Runner's hat, but it is Drop Cloth, I guess. Which is the other really rare one.
This AI is really something.
I mean, it's doing its best. Get another shield infusion and pick. No, okay. See, this is why we didn't get Murder of Crows the first time, because
oh no,
you have to watch the cutscene of you picking it up when you encounter it the first time. So have fun. Wasting what, 15 seconds ish? I've never actually timed it because I don't want to get it.
I swear that specific vigor also does a cutscene later. Because I've picked up the one by accident in Emporia, and it gave me a cutscene. I was so sad.
That sucks. Alright, so there's an extra hidden Vox phone in this little newspaper room here. And if we did not do the Death War properly, what would end up happening is that you would actually have to finish this fight before you leave this area. But because we did the Death War properly, we can simply just step through these gates and the enemies will forget that we exist.
These lock when we pass through. We won't be able to return.
Can you open this?
So we're gonna get a bit of a lengthy cutscene here where Songbird tries to accost us again. So instead of having to explain what in heck is going on, I said a bad word.
Oh no!
Oh no.
If you put a person in a cage, they develop an interest.
Anyway, what's going on? I'm gonna turn it over to Happy for a little bit.
Wonderful. Well, I'm going to overlook that disgusting word that you just said and share a couple of messages. We just want to acknowledge everyone who has helped out with Rejects and Friends. Volunteer coordinators, tech experts, hosts, chat mods, runners, viewers, everyone is a part of making this such a successful event, and we are so grateful for you. Also want to give some special thanks to 31 Jason and Angry Demon Noises for their time and expertise setting up Rejects and Friends' technical side. You can find a list of Rejects and Friends staff and personnel by typing the command !credits in chat. Thank you, everyone. All right, I'm going to give you our approximately 20-minute update on our targets and bid wars. So we are currently at $2,000, or excuse me, $2,734. And our goal is $3,333.33. So we are getting quite close to that goal, and chat, I believe that we can hit that by the end of the run. It all depends on you, but I believe we can do it. Okay, we've got the Twilight Princess Midna's Desperate Hour cutscene incentive going. And the reason why this is such a special little incentive is because that cutscene is normally viewed as Wolf Link. But our runners are going to do it tomorrow as Human Link. Pretty keen, in my opinion. That's what I used to say back in the 1920s when I was a kid, so now I'm bringing it back. Everything's keen again, people. We are at $169 out of 333. Everything is just threes tonight. So we're getting pretty close, but we've got a little bit of work to do. I know we can do it, chat, and we need to have that done within the next 17 hours. Okay, Variety, do you need some more messages, or do you have something to say? I can talk all night.
I am good to go, thank you. So, I'm doing a new thing with this. I did not used to do this, but I realized that if you're an actual good runner of this game, you do this skip here. That's not. You do a skip version of a skip here that. Let me start over. Normally, you're supposed to stand up there, then sort of like maneuver yourself above this gate to skip this fight. But because I actually beat this fight in its entirety, or at least do most of it because I need to beat this handyman here, we actually come back here later. So I'm actually thinking that it might actually be quicker to simply do the fight in its entirety now. So I'm going to do that in this particular run and see if it actually does save any time. And if it does, that means I have to grind this category later. But what the? Don't think I've ever seen that before. Will you stop doing that?
Here you go.
Appreciate it.
That was really annoying. Is that it? Nope. Who's left? Who's left? Never mind, no one's left. Really good sound indicator. Normally there's supposed to be like an indicator at the end of fights that's like, oh, congratulations, you beat the fight, but
Elizabeth.
I guess it's just
Challenging. It's done.
not gonna do that for me. So unfortunately this means I have to skip most of my splits here. And just hope that I remember where they actually happen, but Ghost will help me remember that, right?
Back there at the shop. What you asked
Remember
me to do.
what?
All the collectibles I need to get.
If he were to take me back, that's death, Mr. DeWitt. Or something so like it, I cannot tell the difference.
Come on. Okay. I would like a little bit of ammo. Actually, how much money do I have? Not enough for it to be useful. Ideally, I would have enough money here to access a upgrade for my Devil's Kiss vigor. So I will hopefully be getting enough money for that as we go along. That's a good start, I suppose. Because what that does is it lets me do this a couple very nicely laid out spawn camps.
A devil's kiss, you say? Tell me more.
It's not very fun. It involves getting burned and dying. I would not recommend it.
Oh, that doesn't sound fun. I was hoping it'd be something different, but a girl can dream.
Look, multiple parallel dimensions can exist. Devils, though, I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah, you're right. That's too out of the realm of
Yeah,
possibility.
it's too unlikely.
Yeah, by the way, Variety, I just want to say you're doing really well. I have been getting more and more invested and attached to this run over the course of it. And I also did a Wikipedia dive on the lore of this game as I've been watching. And people, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is only a taste of the wildness to come.
Yeah,
it's so wild. It's wildness has wildness.
There is a very unfortunately long walking simulator section that comes at the very end of this run where it just completely lore dumps on you for like 11 minutes. So I'll go over the lore there if I must. Ideally, I don't have to. But
What are we looking for?
this is what we get for running a bad game, right, Ghost?
Do it!
Alright, so while Elizabeth unlocks that, we're gonna throw a lot of fire traps down here. We're gonna, if you've played BioShock Infinite, you remember what's gonna happen now. We have to fight the ghost version of Lady Comstock 3 times, and they're normally very awful fights, but because she's weak to fire, we can just basically set a ton of traps where she's gonna spawn and hopefully take her out without too much issue. I don't know how much the damage increases, because I normally have the upgrade here. So I'm going to put down 9 and hope it's a 1.5 damage bonus. And if I'm wrong, well, I'm screwed.
Elizabeth.
It's her. How are you, Mother? All locked up in there, huh? Looks like you and I have some common ground.
Let me do it.
No.
Let me do it.
Well, I hope you like screaming, because there's going to be a lot of screaming for the next 20 seconds.
You see, child, you chose to follow a false shepherd, and he has led you astray. What I do for
Right, is this potentially a good place to share a donation to distract from the screaming?
There's going to be a better time in just about 20 seconds, so...
Perfect. I will wait until then.
You get to see the ghost be spawn camped, which is probably going to be very cathartic for anyone who's played this game and had to endure the suffering of doing this boss 3 times. Alright, so after we open this gate... Oh, don't worry about who that is, by the way. That's lore, and again, we don't care about lore. So after we open this gate, the ghost will spawn on top of our traps, and hopefully all of them will hit her, and she will die immediately. Okay, it was 1 hit away. We're very close. Alright, so something that can really go wrong here is that we need to unlock, a la Zelda, we need to, like, throw these fireballs at these torches to unlock these doors. And it can go really poorly if you miss. Oh my god, I only have 1 shot left. Please. Oh my god, thank you. Okay, now is a fantastic time for donations.
Excellent. Well, I have a $50 donation from It's Just Some Moose, who says, "I sleepy, so I give money then run away." Anyway, good stuff to everybody for being good at games and raising money for charity. So that puts us ahead a little bit on our target for the Minna's Desperate Hour cutscene. We're at $219 out of $333. And Moose also donated to, I know you're gonna hate it, Variety, but as far as Talk to Elderbug, donated to yes. So we're now at 145 for yes, and 20 for no. I know, no one cares about speed, everyone cares about being kind.
That would be a blessing, wouldn't it?
Alright, if you're a girl out there and you just want to have fun, you're gonna like this the next 10 seconds of the run.
Yeah, I noticed.
No, you don't understand. She doesn't belong.
Let me up there, please. Thank you.
I'm not so sure it was her.
I'm sure that's there for a reason. I know the reason. I'm just too lazy to say it because it's really complicated. Did you die? Okay. That was a really fast fight, by the way. It's not normally that fast.
Could you take a look at this lock?
No problem. Ready.
Can you open this?
Fine, I guess I'll try to explain it. So, Jeremiah Fink has a brother. His brother is a composer. And through the power of tears that are now opening up around Columbia.
Feel better already.
Alfred Fink heard girls just want to have fun and then turned it into a piece for pipe organ. And then it got really popular. So the fact that girls just want to have fun is an allusion to the fact that it came originally from a tear. Hopefully that made sense. Because if you think it did, you're wrong.
She's almost there. It's like she's a reflection.
I see the phrase trans-dimensional plagiarism, which is, you know, a really concise way of saying that. I salute you. All right. I hope you guys like banks, because that's the next thing we're going to be going to, the bank. If I could steal all the money in the Comstock Bank and put it into charity for
I wonder where the cipher is.
Planned Parenthood, I absolutely would. But unfortunately, believe it or not, fake money is not real. So, I'm sorry I had to break the bad news to you.
All yours.
So you're telling me all the Monopoly money I've been saving up all these years, it's worth nothing?
Ugh, I didn't want to be the one to have to tell you. I'm so sorry, Ghost.
Dang it.
Now, on the other hand, the life money that you've been picking up, that's a real legal tender there. Question for you, Ghost. Do you know what causes the door to open? Because sometimes it opens immediately and sometimes it doesn't open immediately. Never quite understood it.
Which door? Oh yeah, you just need to kill a couple of people and then it opens.
Right, but sometimes I
weird.
kill enough people and it just doesn't open for some reason. Not exactly. Seems to be pretty inconsistent.
Yeah, I don't know. I just always make sure to kill like a few of them and then I just see the door open, so I don't know.
That's probably not Hill Runner's. What is this?
This. You're so unlucky.
This is the worst run of all time. I'm sorry. Well, you know what? The worst thing about it is that it's not even really going to be useful to me anymore. A, I've gotten way too many shield infusions. No, I did not do this. Too many shield infusions, and B, there's not really that many long stretches of like land that I have to run across anymore.
Yeah, true.
So it's just an unfortunate thing all around.
Yeah, I feel like HRH is more. It's most important in like the Fink area and yeah, from the Fink area to here, basically.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so I don't have the upgraded Devil's Kiss, so this fight's gonna go way slower than I would like it to. What? Never mind, that was actually pretty fast.
Nice.
Well, if we don't get HRH, I guess we're gonna have to just spam and hope for food for the rest of the run. Is this gonna be HRH? Oh my...
Oh my...
I'm allowed to swear, right? Fucking finally. Jesus.
About time!
Alright, let's see. Type 3 letters to spell the voice.
3 letters.
VOX.
This sucks. Alright, we got some very fancy things in here, in addition to a lot of money. And as we make our way all the way back to the introduction of the Emporia section, if Happy has any... I guess one announcement should be sufficient.
Wonderful. Well, I just want to remind everyone that our next run after this is going to be Pokemon Red with Genesis. We are very excited for this run because who doesn't love Pokemon? It's going to be incredible.
I also want to point out for the Pokemon run that it has the best named trick of any trick in any speedrun called Brock through walls. You're definitely going to want to be here for that.
That's definitely the best trick that's ever been, like no trick ever was.
Good one.
Thanks,
Well,
it's very original.
We can't actually say that anymore because Ash isn't the main character anymore, right?
I am the main character now.
You just made me sad, Variety.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Alright, this is my favorite movement in the entire run. So you open that, you hook, you charge down. I said you charge down, ideally. Okay, well, that didn't work very well, but imagine I did that correctly. Okay, never mind. This is going poorly. Really, I can't actually get up there. Well, okay, I'm gonna have to do this the boring way. You don't get to see my favorite movement in the run. Sorry. That was extremely slow. But so is this run, so fine by me. So we find these Vox fellows tormenting these Colombian fellows, and we're just going to completely ignore this entire situation and just pick up an audio log and leave.
We didn't see anything.
Nope. We blitzed out of there. Like, I'm like, it's been so long since I've had Hill Runner's hat that I just don't, like, I don't even want to use it.
It's really annoying to use now, though, because of the shield.
So by going around there, we can basically deactivate the fight, even though it's clearly happening out there, and activate this tear earlier than you're supposed to. Because as I said before, when there's a fight going on, typically the game doesn't like you opening doors, because that means you could progress way earlier than you're supposed to. But we're speedrunners, we're pretty sneaky people, I must say. Unfortunately, this does not stop the fact that we do actually still have to do the fight, because there's yet another door that we must unlock.
Great.
The worst part about this fight is that there's just enemies that like very slowly spawn into it, so you just can't like undertow everyone immediately from the beginning. You have to like actually literally wait for things to get closer to you. That should be it though. Skip. Handyman Arena. Oh, I did that already.
Ready.
Snipers. Okay. So we want to pick up this gear. And there's a Vox phone in here too, right? Yep. Skip. Alright. We have one more fight against the ghost, and now that we have our powered up Devil's Kiss boost, I'm not super worried about it. Should be pretty fast. I am gonna get full salts before we get there though. Even though it is slow, it is consistent, and if there's anything you need to know about me as a speedrunner, it's that I prefer consistency far more than I care about doing things the fastest way.
You're never gonna have to look back.
It should only be 5, I believe. 6 is if you want to be really safe. Let's see if we can find any salts around here. Ooh, not enough. There we go. Alright, so as soon as the fight starts, it should end, so we can make another trek over to the dollar bill store. Yep, there's the fight over. I just realized that it might actually be slow the way that I did it, because that means Elizabeth actually has to like physically run up here to start the cutscene, right?
I'm actually confused about what's happening right now.
Oh yeah, what can I fill you in with?
Oh, there you go. I was wondering where the dialogue was.
Oh no, yeah, so I was over there and Elizabeth followed me. So she had to run all the way back here to start the cutscene.
Yeah, that's like never happened to me before.
So this is a really long cutscene, and it's going to be followed by yet another really long cutscene where Songbird accosts us again. So if you got announcements or donations to read, go for it.
Wonderful. I do have a donation to read. It's from GMO Pasta, who donates $20. He says, I bet that watercolor painting is really cool. I sure hope that a bunch of other people don't donate during this run, which would hurt my chances of winning the raffle. That is true. If other people donated, wink, then that could hurt Pasta's chances. Thank you, Pasta, for that great donation. And that goes towards a couple of different challenges. So we are sitting at $239 out of $333 for the Menace Desperate Hour cutscene. We're making great progress on that, chat. The momentum is building, so thank you. And Pasta also put that towards the purple color for the Minish Cap Tunic color. So we've got green in first, purple in second, and then blue and red are nearly tied. Blue is ahead by $4, and red is in last. Thank you, Pasta, for that wonderful donation.
Got any more?
I absolutely do. So, just want to remind everyone that Rejects and Friends Sub-Zero is a 2-day speedrunning marathon benefiting the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. From providing access to safe abortions to birth control to sexual health, Planned Parenthood states that your health is our highest priority, and we believe your body is your own. You can donate to the cause by typing !donate in chat. And we definitely hope you'll keep those donations rolling in chat, because we have some great runs coming up. We've got the Pokemon one, and then after that we've got Hollow Knight No Major Glitches, and after that we've got Sunshine Any Percent. So we've got some amazing runs coming up, and we hope you'll stick around to continue to watch.
Take me back. Take me home.
Alright, so even if you don't have the stab emote, you can type Burge, and that will sufficiently acclimate you to the situation. You saw there that I tried to do a very specific piece of PC movement just to, as a fun way to see if it, to test if it worked on console. It does not. Normally you can HRH yourself too far into this cutscene and it'll activate the bridge before you can do anything else, or before Songbird shows up, but was not meant to be on console. So that actually did Ghost save quite a bit of time, so I think I'm going to do that from now on.
Nice.
Oh, I guess I can use Hillrunner's hat here. Yeah, see how fast I move? Do you like get the sense of like how much faster this run would be if I had that from the beginning? But no,
yeah.
I got it like near the end of the run. Oh, this trick is fun. If I can do it correctly. There we go. That's one of my favorite skips in the game. It's so understandable. Like, you know what charge does. It lets you go towards enemies that are long distances. So if you want to skip the asylum, all you have to do is use it on those shooty guys. I forgot what they're called, turrets. And
I like shooty guys better.
do you? and you skip the entire asylum. It's such a great trick. Anyone can do it too. It's very not difficult. Oh my god, I'm so upset. I wish I had it from the beginning.
There's the switch.
All right, ready for a jump scare, everyone?
Head downstairs and get to Elizabeth now.
Scary. So I would like to start a poll in chat, not an incentive-based poll, but a poll in a poll in chat. You've seen the vast majority of this game now, and I would like to ask you: this game is auto-classified by Twitch as being a horror game. Do you agree?
No.
Well, I know we don't, but that's pushing the scales, you know. We gotta let democracy decide here. I'm saying a no. We're saying a no. Saying a no. All right, let's make an official Twitch petition. Get rid of that misnomer.
It only works for the DLCs because they are more spooky.
Kind of.
Like, episode 2 scared me when I first played it back in 2014.
Where?
Oh god, that is so long ago. Where? The beginning. There was a jump scare with Sally.
Oh, Sally, when you turn around and she's right there.
Yeah, and I was so scared of the Big Daddy as well. That was roaming around.
Slides into its terminal stage.
It's been a long run. I need to adjust my seat.
But yeah, I'm all grown up now. It doesn't scare me anymore.
Oh yeah?
I don't understand it.
Boo.
I heard you screaming. I was.
Oh god.
Get you. Are we?
People scared.
Take my hand.
Alright, we're about 40 minutes away. Oh my god. I'll give you all, the audience, a bit of RAF Sub-Zero, we're not trivia, behind the scenes. The reason why this category is not 4 hours long. This category is like 3 hours and 15 minutes long. The reason why it's a 4-hour estimate is because I was initially going to run Octopath Traveler Galdera %, which is where you beat the entire game and you also beat the secret final boss. But not only is that it's not that difficult of a run, but it takes a long time to learn, and in addition, it's extremely volatile. It's not good for a marathon in the slightest. So the next longest run that I knew was this one. So we're gonna have a little bit of extra time, so I may or may not be able to play the first of the DLCs.
It's for her.
Just to whet your appetite.
She'll know how to read it.
Keep you satiated.
What does it say?
It's advice.
Advice on what?
How not to become me.
I'm back. 12. Before she. There's still. Elizabeth!
Wow, I actually made good use of Hellrunner's hat in this run.
What are you doing to her?
Can you believe it?
It's a miracle.
Oh my god. Oh, I have another poll for you guys. I don't know what the scientist's name is, but the scientist says, "Oh, you know the saying, a day late is $1 short." And I'm like,
Maybe if I shut down
I've never heard that before. Is that something that people know as like a saying that I should know? Ow. It's a day late and $1 short? Well, even then, I've never heard that before. Oh, yeah, so...
She is not your daughter.
there's a new runner in the BioShock Infinite speedrunning community. His name is Cal MC, and he's doing great work, honestly. Really, really good work with this game. But he fell into a trap that I fell into when I was first running this game, which is if you jump in that hallway as you're trying to rescue Elizabeth. Oh, if you don't like needles, don't watch for the next like 15 seconds. But yeah, if you jump too much in that hallway, you will just clip through the floor. And we don't really know why, but you just clip through the floor, and you have to restart the entire thing from the beginning. It's really awful.
Your dream of New York happens. It's me. I'm the one who...
She's given us a way to get past Songbird. We're gonna find an airship and we'll leave Paris, Elizabeth. Remember, you wanted to go
We're
to...
not leaving. We are going to find Comstock.
Why?
You saw what he turns me into. I will not allow that.
And so what, you're going to kill him?
Is this where you start moralizing, Booker? You forget. I know you.
I'm not going to let you kill him.
So one of the problems with streaming this game and being a speedrunner of this game is that
Not a damn thing.
normally one of the benefits of being a speedrun streamer is that you will constantly have things to talk about, right? Because you have a game that you're trying to be really good at. So there's commentary that just inherently exists there. The problem with running this game and its DLCs is that there's so many cutscenes that it can get really boring to watch regardless. I don't know if
you just run out of things to talk about.
Well, I've got something to talk about. Another donation. Is now a good time?
Oh, go for it.
Wonderful. You sound so enthusiastic. Everyone, Beautiful Dandy donates $5 and says, apparently it's been 12 and a half hours since the marathon started. And let me tell you, it's been awesome. Thank you, Dandy, for that. And they are putting that towards the green tunic color for Minish Cap. Boy, that is just a popular one. Everyone seems to love Lincoln Green. Couldn't tell you why.
I don't know, I played that new Legend of Zelda game, and I don't know, he was wearing blue when I played that game. I don't know about you.
I love it when Zelda wears blue. He's really handsome.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah?
We're doing this together, or I'm doing it alone.
Oh, it's like near the bottom, right? Yeah, there it is.
Either way, I need to know the things that
That was a shit. We're gonna get some gun upgrades here to make the final fights a little bit less ammo dependent, because Elizabeth has a knack for just simply not giving you the ammo that you need, so being able to make more use of our ammo is really important. Alright, let's go.
What's that sound?
This fight has one really obnoxious component to it, and while I concentrate on doing this part correctly, would you like to explain what that is?
Look around you, Elizabeth.
Oh boy, huh?
Oh, I was saying that this fight has a really obnoxious component to it, if you would like to describe what that is.
Oh, is it the boat?
It's the boat,
talking? Yeah, it's very random. Like, sometimes... so a boat will spawn after this specific fight right here. And, yeah, it's really random. Sometimes it loads in fast, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why it happens, but this game is weird.
Very weird. Oh, it was very nice to us this time. It is not always. Here's the other fun thing that you can do with Undertow. You can pull people in, and you can push them off.
It's so fun.
Did I miss someone? What? No, okay.
Aw.
I didn't hear the end battle theme, did you?
Elizabeth.
I don't have audio, so I don't know.
Oh, well.
All yours.
Where's... Okay, there it is. Oh, we already got Return to Sender, so we don't actually need to actually buy it here.
More money. Okay.
Yes, in addition to getting all of the infusions, the gears, and the voxophones, you also have to pick up all of the you have to pick up all the vigors. You technically don't need to use Return to Sender at all. It's probably the least useful one, other than maybe Bucking Bronco.
Do you think
But
it's possible to
you need to get it for all collectibles because it is a collectible you can collect. So
I don't see much.
they're so cemented as a vital part of this run.
Are you afraid of God?
No. But I'm afraid of you.
Over there. It's Comstock's men. They're coming out to meet us.
All right. I hope you guys like auto scrollers because we'd be getting one.
Nice.
This part is honestly so boring.
It's extremely boring.
I actually feel bad for those who are watching right now.
Another gunship on the left.
And there's not really too much to explain either, which is probably the worst part. Like, you drag people towards your ship, you push them off or you kill them. And then whenever you see, like, those flying turret guys that you saw there before, all you do is you shoot them with electricity once and then you shoot them and then they're gone. I'm gonna cut this. I'm not gonna get that. I'm gonna be good. I'm gonna be good. The next one's gonna spawn. Oh yeah. Even worse is that those gunships, like, you can't really interact with them at all, so it just becomes like a waiting game of making sure that animation goes away. I will take this.
Much obliged.
Get out of here.
I like the 360 you just did.
Yeah. It would have been a no-scope if I just... What are you doing?
Variety, is now a good time for another message?
Go for it.
Perfect. Well, I just want to remind everyone that a running list of donations can be found by typing !incentives in chat. Almost every run has something that you can donate towards let me rephrase what I just said. Almost every run has something that you can donate towards, ranging from art to making the Twilight Princess runners go off course to pick up bugs. You can donate to the cause by typing !donate in chat. The link will be open through the final Twilight Princess run about 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, December 18th. And that's the way it was on 11:07 p.m. December 17th, 2022.
Yeah, the reason I didn't want to pick up the those salts on that ship all the way back there is because I wanted to make sure that I had enough salts to use that charge strat that I did before. If you don't charge those turrets, you actually have to go inside the building, and it like wastes like a pretty substantial amount of time. It's like 10 seconds. So making sure that you have enough charge to sort of leap over that boundary is really important.
Follow me.
On one side of our land stands the false shepherd, and the other...
So, if you're a PC runner, this fight is completely obsolete. You don't do this fight at all. You don't even do the last fight. You do this very interesting elevator bouncy skip. But because we're on console, and we're also doing all collectibles, we actually have to do this fight in its entirety, which is, I think this is the only category that actually does this fight normally. Even at any percent for console, the difference is that, the main difference... Sorry, I'm trying to concentrate. The main difference is that, you just sort of wait around for all the pods to drop so you can move on to the next portion of the level. But in all collectibles, you actually do have to complete the fight, which is idiosyncratic to this fight, or to this category, to my knowledge. We will be making a lot of use of Undertow because it is just that powerful of bringing people in. Not only that, but because enemies are sort of come into the arena from so far away, it's really nice to be able to grab them from far away, because you wouldn't be able to do that as easily with your guns otherwise.
Done.
You unlock this?
Booker, the lines are clear. It's done.
Alright, I believe that's the last gear. I kind of wish it was Hill Runner's hat, but I guess you can't get everything.
I may be the one who strikes you down to it.
Alright, so we got some pretty cool movement to do in this next area here. Of course, anything that involves cool movement in this game will typically involve charge, as you're about to see.
One more deck. Let me take care of this on my own.
No, I'm going with you.
So, you run up here, fall off on this platform, then you can charge against over these little platforms twice, and you're done with the fight.
You've come to wipe your slate clean, false shepherd. But time will walk back.
Alright, one of the things that I made sure that I had was enough ammo. Because we have one final death warp to perform. And we have the maximum amount of shields and the maximum amount of health that we can have. So if you don't have a lot of ammo, it can be really obnoxious to actually get all the way down to 1 health.
And then in my mother's grave, there was a smaller one. They were draining me. And maybe that's why.
No.
When I was little, I used to
I was too overzealous.
open tears, but I could create new ones to anywhere I wanted to go. And the tower.
Alright, that should be good enough.
Stand back. I'm ending this.
Booker, no. This is between me and him.
You are walking into a trap.
I need to do this.
Come here, child.
Alright, so unless you really wanted to see Booker bash an old man's head into us.
Tell me, what am I?
What is that called? It's not a fountain. Bird bath. It's a bird bath.
Hey, let go of her.
I'm gonna turn it over to Happy once more.
Excellent. Well, I am happy to distract everyone from the bird bath bashing, and just want to remind everyone that Rejects and Friends Sub-Zero is our winter speedrunning event, and this was conceived as a way to feature members of our community who were declined from other main stage speedrunning marathons, but it's evolved into something way more than that. Because starting with the next Rejects and Friends, we are debuting our very own channel on twitch.tv/rejectsandfriends. rejects.tv.edu.com. And that is going to be Rejects and Friends. That's the name of the channel. You can find a link for this by typing !new channel in chat. And we hope that you'll go follow it so that we can make it a great hub for all of our communities for future marathons.
Did you get what you wanted?
Booker.
Tell me!
Booker.
Tell me!
It is finished.
Nothing is finished.
No, I also want to give an update on some of our targets. So, Hollow Knight, whether we talk to the Elderbug or not, yes is at 145 and no is at 20. Talking to the Elderbug has more than 8 times the dollars of not talking to the Elderbug.
What a shame.
I'm sure that this information will just make our streamers so very happy. Isn't that right, Variety?
Oh, absolutely.
What? Elizabeth, I swear to you, I have no idea.
Alright, so that was it. That was the last collectible of the game.
No. I'll prove it to you.
Variety, do you mean to tell me that we have obtained all collectibles?
We have.
Ah, she said the thing.
I was a little bit miffed at myself because on my way to collect the penultimate collectible, I accidentally picked up a banana. And bananas give you health, and the point was that I was at 1 health for the death warp, so I was a little bit upset by that, but not too big of a deal. Imagine if I was on PB pace and the banana ruined my run, though. It would be hilarious to say that. Of anything, it was a banana that ruined your PB.
That would be the first time that a banana has ruined anything. Bananas are delicious.
I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of bananas.
Get wrecked, streamer.
Do people like bananas in chat? I'm not a huge fan of bananas. I think they're just the right amount of mushy to be disconcerting to me.
I hope that you get WR, worst record.
Well, I'm definitely on track for that.
I definitely understand though. I like my banana just a little bit green. Just that slight bit of crispness really makes the banana for me. The bananas that are going brown and that are too mushy, no thank you. So I can definitely understand where some people just might not like it.
Alright, this is the final fight of the game. The first thing we're going to do is hopefully, yes, undertow this rocket launcher man, because they have way too much health comparatively to everyone else.
There is something cool about this fight though. Like, if you go too fast, it ends early and you can move on.
Booker, gunships.
Get ready!
I mean, you know, quite honestly, like, mostly what you're going to be seeing here is just doing exactly what you would expect based on the knowledge that you've been given about this run. Oh man, you have enemies that are far away from you. Guess what you're going to do to them? You're going to pull them towards you. Oh no, you have enemies that are weak to a certain vigor. Well, you better believe that we're going to use it. Yes, I know, Booker. Booker. Elizabeth. I know, Elizabeth. I know we're family, so we're supposed to look alike, but not that alike. Oh no, did I spoil it?
Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, Elizabeth's her daughter.
The cat's out of the bag now.
Yeah. It's a speedrun. Okay, good. So, the the ultimate goal for this run, or this fight, I should say, is take out these 3 blimps, or zeppelins, I guess they're called, as well as take out all the high-level enemies that exist on the barge. There's 2 ways to take out the zeppelins. You can either take him out with Songbird by summoning him, or you can go onto the ship and manually take out the engine like we did all the way back in Finkton. So we took out that last one with Songbird because it's faster to do that as opposed to going into the ship, obviously. However, the next one we're going to be doing, definitely, because there's going to be 2 of them simultaneously, it actually behooves us to go onto one of them, because it will mean the end of the... what am I trying to say? It behooves us to go up onto the engine of one of them, because it lets us take out one after the other relatively quickly. So as you can see, our Songbird meter on the top right, not the very top right, but the meter just below the health of the ship, is just about to reach the top again, which means that we can call Songbird to attack the other Zeppelin. And while it's doing that, we can come in here and we can take out the other Zeppelin by hand. I think that's a pretty poor teaching tool if I were to make one critical analysis of this game, or judgment of this game, I guess I should say. I don't think that way of conveying that you can go onto the Zeppelins is very clear, simply because you only do it one other time in the game. Like when Elizabeth tells you, you can use the Zeppelin, the Songbird to take out the Zeppelins. I guess when I heard that the first time playing casually, I thought, you must take out the Zeppelins using Songbird, as opposed to what was actually intended as it being an option. There should be another rocket launcher guy somewhere around here. I think. Or did we get a fast fight? It appears we might have gotten a fast fight. Nice, okay.
Well, that didn't work out so bad.
Of course, Elizabeth is gonna run all the way to the bow instead of being fast and using the railings, but you can't have everything in life. Alright, so something weird about this game is that it can often benefit you to stare at like a character's neck before you talk to them, because that will generally make it the fastest way to actually activate the cutscene. It's not always the case. In this particular case, it's better to stare at her face. But for example, old Elizabeth, when we talk to her, that lady at the beginning of the game with the raffle balls, it's better to stare at her neck. When you talk to Comstock at the end, it's better to stare at his neck. Like, necks are very fast in this game. I say very fast.
I think it's more like you have to face the item they're holding in their hand, basically. That's at least with the priest, you sort of have to face his hand, like at the beginning.
Maybe I just always approach him in such a way where I'm looking at his neck.
Where is he? Where is he?
Ghost, just let me like necks, okay?
Alright.
It's okay. It's
Neck with 2 C's.
I'm here.
Neck with 3 C's. Oh, by the way, when I said, yeah, there's gonna be references to BioShock 1 at the end of this run, this is what I meant. This is literally the introductory
I'm sorry.
rapture room of BioShock 1. And now, Ghost, would you care to explain? You don't have to explain like the lore, but would you like to explain what we have to do from now to the end of the run?
Where are you going?
So,
this way.
since they didn't really explain anything what is happening throughout the game, they decided to do a very long, around 11 minutes of lore dumping, basically telling you everything that, yeah. Technically, it's supposed to be all of the answers, but sometimes it just raises more questions, really.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
At the bottom of the ocean.
So, if you're playing this on PC, there are some really neat skips that you can do in the section. When you're playing on console, no such thing exists because of the frame cap, so... If this was being run at like GDQ, this would be like the best place of all time for donations, but...
Variety, is that a hint?
Maybe in a little bit, yes.
Okay.
We got there are some optimizations that we have at the beginning of this section. So, you might have noticed that at the very beginning of the run, when we went into the Blue Ribbon restaurant, we found all of those infusions sitting on the desk or on the tables that housed all of the items that you get from the DLC, minus the guns. I picked up Sugar Rush, which we've explained lets you go really fast when you pick up food, which obviously is really good for a speedrun. But I also picked up another gear. And if anyone can tell me what it is, you win a prize, because probably none of you can do it except maybe Ghost. Well, definitely Ghost. I shouldn't have phrased it like that. It was a gear called the Fleet Feet.
Oh, yeah.
And what Fleet Feet does is when you're moving side to side or backwards, it lets you move faster than you would otherwise. Now that's useful in this scenario for one reason, that being that when you move forward in this section of the game, it wants to slow you down because it really wants, like, look how slow I'm moving. It wants to slow you down because it's like trying to take you through the lore and the story and all that stuff. However, there's a couple places where we actually want to walk backwards because the Fleet Feet, they didn't consider the Fleet Feet boost by walking backwards. So by walking backwards in a couple of the bridge scenes and lighthouse scenes, we actually get to save, like, I think a total of like 5 seconds.
Yeah, so just to answer Dandy in chat, you don't skip the sequence, but you're able to do a couple tricks to get out of some barriers, so you can just keep moving instead of standing around and waiting.
There's so many choices.
They all lead us to the same place, where it started.
So as you can see, I am currently in the backwards position, and I will continue to be until I get to the lighthouse at the end of the dock. Because moving like this is significantly faster than in a forward pattern. Alright, now that the audience knows how that trick works, trick in quotation marks, it's not even a trick, it's literally glitchless. But feel free to make any announcements that you have.
Delightful. Well, I do have announcements. I just want to say, as we're getting near to the end of the run, Rejects and Friends would not be possible without the help of many volunteer coordinators, tech experts, hosts, and chat mods. These people are so gracious for sharing their time, their talents, their expertise, and their abilities with us. We are so grateful. Definitely also want to give a special shout out to 31 Jason and Angry Demon Noises for their time and expertise setting up Rejects and Friends technical side. You can find a list of everyone who's helped with Rejects and Friends by typing the command !credits in chat. We are so grateful to everyone who's helped so far, and everyone who's watched, and people, we're only halfway done. We've still got another day tomorrow. Super exciting.
No. He was here. This way.
Ghost, do you know if it's faster to walk backwards here before you hit that door? I don't think it is, because it's such little time.
I'm not sure if it's worth it. I think I tried it once, and it just, yeah. I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, I would imagine you're correct. Alright, Ghost. Do you want to explain the lore, or do you want me to?
It's all yours.
Okay, fine. So this baby is Elizabeth. More specifically, this is Anna DeWitt, who is Booker's biological daughter. Anna DeWitt just so happens to be the same initials, AD, which is the signifier of the false prophet, as Comstock said. In this timeline, which we are currently witnessing, Booker Drown was extremely in debt, gambling debt and otherwise. And Lutece here, on the behalf of Comstock, came to Booker and said, hey, if you give me this kid, we'll wipe away your debt. Bring us the girl and wipe away the debt. So, as you can see, we did it just now.
Mr. Comstock washes you of all your sins.
But this confuses Booker. But because bring us the girl and wipe away the debt didn't really mean that in this particular universe. As it so happens, when you move into another universe to which you don't belong, your brain sort of tries to make memories and tries to fuse the memories of both your current self and the self that you're technically supposed to be occupying in that particular universe.
What are we doing?
So bring us the girl and wipe away the debt completely changed its meaning from bringing Comstock Anna to bringing Elizabeth back to the Comstocks, back to New York. Now, who is Comstock, you may be asking? Well, it's revealed at the very end, but I might as well just do it now since I'm talking. Comstock is Booker. Comstock, back in that baptism that we saw a couple minutes ago, Booker DeWitt went after he wanted to absolve himself of his sins from being a soldier in a Pinkerton. And in one timeline, he took the baptism, and in that timeline, he became Zachary Hale Comstock. In another timeline where he did not take the baptism, he remained Booker DeWitt. So this Booker DeWitt is one version of Booker who did not take the baptism, who is now trying to take Elizabeth back, who was originally his daughter Anna, from Comstock, who is also himself from another timeline.
Anna?
As we just saw, that child who lost her finger was confirmed to be Elizabeth equals Anna, because Elizabeth has a missing pinky finger as well.
For almost 20 years. Until one day, a man came to you and offered you a chance.
Now, the reason why the Luteces want to do this, even though they aided Comstock at the beginning, is because Comstock wants to rebuild a new world, basically, where he controls all of the firepower, and he can use and he can basically convert Elizabeth to use the power of terrors to take over the world, basically. In so doing, the Luteces knew his secret, so he killed the Luteces, or he attempted to kill the Luteces, but instead what happened is that they became trapped in time. So basically that's why they can teleport all over the place effortlessly, because they exist in all timelines at once and can sort of appear and disappear at will.
He's manufacturing new memories from his old ones.
Well, the brain adapts.
I should know. I've lived it.
Booker, wake up. Booker, wake up.
We are almost done with the game.
This is where it started.
I sold you.
To your
And
credit, you did try to weasel out of the deal.
just to finish the game off in a very strong suit, we're going to be walking backwards to the end.
What if I went back? Killed him before he did any of this?
Things get set in motion.
How would one know how far back to go?
That's the only way to do it. Go back to when he was born, and I'll smother this son of a bitch in his crib.
Alright, let's hopefully we don't run into Elizabeth or any of the weird collision that this game has. Decent movement. And that is time.
Booker, are you sure this is what you want?
GG.
It's the only way to undo
GG, man.
Jeez. Okay. However, because we have, let's see,
Why are we back here?
25 minutes should bring us.
Of course it is.
I don't want to simply just let you listen to the same track for 45 minutes, so we're going to do a very, very short run of the first of the DLCs. I just started on easy. I wasn't supposed to, but who cares? So, in accordance with the lore that I just dropped on you, even though all of the Bookers were supposed to die at the end because the Elizabeths killed Booker at the place of the baptism, one Booker sort of distanced himself from the timeline and exists in Rapture, which is the city in which BioShock 1 takes place. And so Elizabeth, now older, with a redesign that I'm not a huge fan of, is going to spend way too long trying to convince Booker, or at least reveal to Booker that he was once Comstock.
What do you want?
How about we start with a light?
The first thing we can do is jump over this desk by mashing the jump button well enough, which we did.
Well, you got a name, miss?
Elizabeth.
And the first thing I'm going to do is actually change my difficulty to hard, because it definitely needs to be on hard for this run to work.
You can call me Elizabeth.
What can I do for you?
There's a girl who needs to be found. Maybe
This run is not super unlike the main game in that you do have to do a lot of interesting things with the physics. You do death warps, you do very specific movements, you do clips and stuff like that. The main difference is you don't have access to a rocket launcher, so how are you going to do those things? Well, we came up with some pretty creative ways to.
Lost isn't dead. Name your rate, I will pay you for this work. You do this one gratis, wouldn't you?
I don't follow.
Something tells me you will.
So, if you're a huge fan of BioShock 1, welcome to Rapture in its prime. We can jump over this railing, even though it technically has an invisible wall above it. The most optimal way to get through this is to jump through this gap in the plant right here. And instead of watching this cutscene with the little sisters, we can jump on this railing and move our way, or shimmy our way over there. Ducking under this for a little bit, we're going to encounter quite a long cutscene where we talk to Elizabeth, but not before we sort of jump on this garbage can to avoid having to go up the stairs and wasting 2 seconds about. So if you got any extra things to read out, now's a great time to do that.
Let's just say I don't get out much.
All right.
If I wanted to share
Well,
my story, Mr. DeWitt, I would write my memoir.
just as a reminder, this is Rejects and Friends Sub-Zero, a 2-day speedrunning marathon benefiting the Planned Parenthood Federation of America. From providing access to safe abortions, to birth control, to sexual help, Planned Parenthood states that your health is our highest priority, and we believe your body is your own. You can donate to the cause by typing !donate in chat. I also want to remind you and give you an update on where our bid wars and our donation incentive stands right now. So we're still at $239 with a midness deaths per hour, and that, as a reminder, is a cutscene where you can view everything that's going on as Human Link instead of wolf-like. It will no doubt be extremely mind-blowing to our primate brains. We won't be able to handle it. We'll ascend to a higher plane of consciousness, but it only happens if we get 94 more dollars. So hopefully we're able to do that. We also have a couple of those bid wars open. Hollow Knight Talk to Elderbug. Yes, $145. No, $20. So if you hate Elderbugs, rise up, people. Get those donations in. And the Minish Cap, Tunic Color. We've got red at $163, blue at $167, green at $581, and purple at $341. So green, it just seems to be Link's natural color, but if you think otherwise, then people, you gotta show it with cold hard cash, or else Link is gonna be green. And as we all know from Kermit the Frog, it's not easy being green.
Well, I guess we'll have to persuade someone to loan us one.
So you might have remembered something that I said during the BioShock Infinite run, which was episode 2 of the DLC. It just has so many cutscenes. You basically just stand there, you do 10 feet, and then you get another cutscene. Even though that is the case, and episode 2 is more notorious for that, just simply because it's longer, episode 1 also sort of suffers from the same problem, just not nearly as much. There's a cutscene coming up with Sander Cohen, if you remember him from BioShock 1, the crazed artist, which is an extremely long cutscene that I despise, but we have to watch it because there's no way to skip it.
Did you look for the mask?
Didn't see one.
Did you like running this game, Ghost, when you were really focusing on it?
You see that dish I walked in with?
I did, yeah, but it got obnoxious.
How long did it take to get obnoxious?
A while. I was very patient for some reason, somehow. But yeah,
So
now I can't even run any percent because I can't even get more than 200 FPS in the game anymore. So
FPS. Let's do Ghost strat here. Kind of.
I am stuck with glitches for a while.
Yeah. Do you want to explain exactly what we just did, or at least what we were trying to do story-wise there?
So we're trying to get the only way to get into this club, or well, art club party, you need a mask, and so you visit all these shops to find one, and it's always the last one you visit. It's 3 shops. So yeah.
Do you want to explain this while you're at it?
Oh. So when you go through this door normally, you get stopped by the game and there's a small cutscene, but if you go in backwards, you just skip it completely. Because it's sort of a look trigger, you kind of have to look to trigger the cutscene. But since we go in backwards, well, nothing can trigger.
Otherwise, you get stopped there, and then Elizabeth gets in front of you, and then Sander Cohen makes this whole big entrance, and it's like, no one has time for that. So before we talk to Sander Cohen and his little experiment here, we're going to say hi to our bunny friend.
Bunny friend.
I want everyone to start petting the bunny. Because it deserves pets. Even though it has red eyes, that's not his fault.
Get them out of here. There shall be no failure on my canvas. There's no room in rapture anymore for the artist.
Alright, so if you liked petting the bunny, you're gonna love petting Liz.
Who are you?
Name's DeWitt.
Is that?
Which is something that Ghost does. That I find entertaining.
Yeah, which is the lore of my pet emote.
So there's this hand here for... I don't even know what it connects to, so I don't really know why it's there. But there is a hand there, and if you position yourself at just the right place, there we go. You can stand up and down.
You've seen this girl.
Start petting Elizabeth.
We artists see more than most.
Oh Lord, that is quite the lore there.
Watch this one.
I just realized you used the wrong Elizabeth in your emote.
Because, I don't know. It would just be cuter to use the younger
You're
version of her.
probably right. Also, like, these guys here, they're supposed to just like, block your way out. And most of these guys are normal, but what is with this guy's hands? Like, what is he doing with them?
They are definitely wonky.
Like, like all of these people seem completely normal. And then, like, is he trying to be threatening? Like, I don't understand.
Something in you too. Art strips away artifice. Show me who you are, and I will show you.
Alright, so if you've been bored by the fact that there hasn't really been any action, it's time to get some action back into the game. But not before we get electrocuted. Well, I guess not electrocuted, because I believe the word electrocuted implies that you die, right? It's like immolation, like it implies that you die. So we
I
get
guess shocked, yeah.
What do you think Cohen's customers?
We get shocked real bad.
We get BioShocked real bad.
I want to end stream.
Those little sisters. You so sure? But if Su Chong had
Congratulations, Ghost Likely. You single-handedly ended Rejects in Front, Sub-Zero 2022.
I don't know
what an accomplishment.
That's a heck of an accomplishment, Ghost Likely.
I see suffering in you. I know how to shine a light on your pain.
Please do. I would love to have light shown on my pain. Sorry, I kind of ruined your intense line reading there. My apologies. Okay. I'm just so happy.
He just said something completely nonsensical, which is a moth will become a butterfly, which we're supposed to take as supposed to be like very artsy and foreshadowing, but it just comes across as he doesn't know how biology works.
Mr. DeWitt. Mr. DeWitt. Are you all right?
I'm fine.
You were dreaming. You kept saying your daughter's name, Sally.
She's not my daughter.
I thought.
Okay. It's been a long time. I'm gonna shift myself out.
Oh god, the gate skip.
Yeah, gate skip. Do you want to explain gate skip while we're here?
No. Yes. How do I explain it?
Do it well.
Do it well for it. Yeah, so there's this area coming up where technically the legit way is you have to grab the skyhook. And then you start a little fight with a couple of splicers. But we know how to parkour over the gate, so nice.
Oh, that's all you're gonna say? Okay, so but there's a...
What?
There's a little... But the gate has like these like grounder things that you can jump on. And then if you turn around and you look at a very specific point on the wall around there, there's a part of the collision that jets out just a little bit, just enough where you can jump onto it, and then you can jump on the gate from there. It's relatively precise, and it's even harder on console because you don't have very swift angle changes.
I liked my explanation better.
Yeah. You know what? I did too. Alright, if I get it first try,
Seem to be some supplies this way, Mr. DeWitt.
I want a $1 train.
Just call me Booker.
If it's all the same to you, let's leave it at Mr. DeWitt. Look up there.
Oh my god, I got it.
Easy.
Please let me. Okay.
There's another. Yeah, there you go.
When did you come to Rapture?
So coming up is the reason we play this category on hard. We don't have a rocket launcher, so we can't do death warps. Kind of. The other way you can do damage to yourself is to not do damage to yourself, but have other people do it for you.
Sort of becomes a blur.
Which we're going to see
49.
in just a second here. There's there's technically 3 splicers, but only 2 of them have melee attacks. Using a shooting splicer as a way to do the death warp is really, really dangerous because it can hit you from long range. Using the melee one instead, you can see exactly what they're going to be doing. So we want to take a lot of damage here. I actually will take the ammo, actually. Why not? More damage, please. And the reason we play this on hard is because it just does damage faster than it does on easy. Alright, let's see if we can get this. Okay, that didn't kill me for some reason. Okay, that's fine. We made it through the door. We have successfully done our death warp.
Thanks.
You want to thank me? Next time, try ducking.
Just let me in, okay? Fontaine, he said we're all equal down here now. All in the same boat. Just want a taste of some high-class food.
Now we're going to do haberdashery skip, which involves us. On PC, it's a lot easier to do it the fast way, which is to just clip through this wall here, but because we're playing on console, the frames are a little bit more difficult. So what we do is we jump on this pillar over here, and then by jumping through that same place in the wall, we can sort of clip out of it. I'm not exactly sure why that works. Do you know how that operates a little bit more than I do?
They just forgot to put a barrier there, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
I am pretty sure.
Alright, so now we have another lengthy cutscene. So if you have donations to read for the $1 train that I've earned, that would be a great time.
Well, we have a $1 donation from Beautiful Dandy, who says the train has left the station. And that donation is going towards the green Minish Cap tunic color. So we could see some more train cars going towards tunic colors, going towards the Midna's Desperate Hour cutscene. Who knows what we could see in the next 5 or 10 minutes. Also want to remind everyone that a running list of donations can be found by typing ! incentives in chat. Almost every run has something that you can donate towards, ranging from art to making the Twilight Princess runners go off course to pick up bags. And that Twilight Princess run is going to be tomorrow afternoon, and I am pretty pumped for that. So if you're pumped for that too, definitely donate towards that Twilight Princess incentive when it pops open. You can donate to this by typing !donate in chat. The link will be open through the final Twilight Princess run about 2 p.m. or 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, December 18th, and we just had another donation come in from Allison, who donates $4.20 and says a how do I pronounce your emotes? A Varaya one yay, a Varaya one hug.
What are you doing?
And that is the entire message.
Alright, thank you very much. Did I do your skip properly there, Ghost? Because if not, feel free to explain the thing that you just found.
What I actually did find out whatever I found. It didn't matter. It didn't save any time.
Oh, that's a shame. So, one of the big problems with this run is that you need a lot of money. Well, I guess that's not really a problem in and of itself. The problem is that it's really hard to come across money, because you need money to get ammo for the final fight of the game.
the other vents?
Up ahead.
I don't remember how much I have, but it wasn't a ton, so I'm hoping that I can find a little bit more as we play through this game. Pick up the... Oh, I did get it. Okay. So currently what we're trying to do is close all these vents. We're trying to find this little girl called Sally, and she's sort of making her way through the vents and being very obnoxious. So we need to close all of them to sort of force her out. This next trick is very interesting. I've said that Elizabeth doesn't like to activate things unless there's no fights going on. So we can actually get to this little... We can actually activate the next segment of the game without the enemies noticing us by jumping down at a very specific angle. That lets us avoid having to do the fight. I'm going to be searching all of these corpses for more money. $29 is really bad, actually. I'll work with it, but I don't like it. Do you want to explain the next one? I hate that. I hate the next one.
Oh, the next... Wait,
The next event. The one after this one.
Yeah, so... you need to jump up on a skyhook thing and very sneakily go around the corner. And if you screw it up, you need to fight these splicers, and it's not very
nice.
fun.
Okay.
Nice. That one is really hard on PC.
Really? Why is that?
I don't know. I just managed to screw it up like very easily.
Sally? Sally, it's me, Booker.
No salts. That's really bad.
It's more like I do it the risky way. I don't sneak around. I run around the corner.
Oh wow, yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, it's very, very risky, but it works. And yeah, it's not fun.
That's the last one.
Where's the exhaust?
In the toy department.
So I have no shotgun ammo, which makes this next fight good. It just automatically makes it slow. So have fun watching me struggle to do this fight fast without shotgun ammo.
Oh, did you not get money?
I didn't get enough money.
Oh no.
What?
Maybe you can loot these guys and see if you get some.
Well, I don't need money anymore. I just need shotgun ammo at this point.
Yeah, it's just really not fun doing the boss without the ammo.
I think I can squeeze through. Give me a boost.
Bad luck.
Yeah, that's like one of the most annoying things about this run. Like, sometimes you just don't get money and your run is basically dead.
Yep, you're pretty much porked at that point.
You don't seem any worse for wear.
Speak for yourself. What's taking so long?
Other than that, this run has become very optimized on PC. It's actually insane.
Absolutely, yeah. Why did I do that? There's literally no point for me to do that. Alright, so Booker keeps getting flashbacks, which reveals that he was once a version of Comstock. Did you... Elizabeth! Elizabeth is supposed to interact with this thing here, but she just didn't do that for some reason. Oh, I hate you. Like, if you thought Elizabeth was bad in the normal BioShock game, like, she's 10 times worse in this run.
Yeah, you just have to be very specific in this one with her. It's so annoying.
And if it wasn't bad enough, we have some RNG that we have to sort of work our way through. Isn't that right, Ghost?
Oh yeah, I've lost a couple of world records to her. Smile.
Yeah, basically you need to make sure that she gets you salts during this fight against the Big Daddy. Otherwise, you'll lose time because that's just optimal. So if you get it once, you're going to lose time every other time. She oftentimes does not give you salts, so fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
since you have very low health right now, it's kind of scary because she might actually drop you health.
Yeah, well.
Because that's the thing, you can sort of manipulate her to give you Eve instead of other stuff by getting low on Eve first, and then pray that she drops you something.
Yeah, there it is. You're right.
Oof.
Okay. Oh, now you give me Eve. I hate you. Alright, time is going to be when I hit the selection, and it is time.
Nice.
GG.
GG's.
Alright, well, we'll let this play out, but we should wrap up so Genesis can get on his merry way to be playing some Pokemon for us. I have been a variety pack playing BioShock Infinite all collectibles, as well as the first DLC of BioShock Infinite. I hope you've enjoyed. It's a long category, a pretty comprehensive one. Has a lot of fun tricks and old tricks used in new ways. I stream here at this channel, a variety pack. I stream Bayonetta, I stream Skyward Sword HD speedruns, I stream these speedruns, obviously, and I'm going to be hopefully learning some new Inscription and Kirby speedruns in the future, so I live up to my name, you might say, but only in the speedrun realm. Ghost, would you like to plug yourself as well?
Yeah, so feel free to follow me here on Twitch. I do a bunch of BioShock stuff. I might learn BioShock 2 very soon. I also do Stray speedruns, and I might also learn Resident Evil 2 Remake. After all.
I know you're debating it.
I had a lot of fun with that game. I also want to give a shout out to a variety pack for being so welcoming, like her and her community welcoming me in. It's been a lot of fun. You are all very cool people, and thank you all for supporting Planned Parenthood and RAF. It's yeah, all of you are just wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that was very well put. I have nothing else to say, so I think we can turn it over to Break and the host again. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.
Wonderful. Well, we are so impressed by that exciting run, and honestly, my mind has been blown by all of this lore. I am a big fan of the BioShock Infinite lore all of a sudden, and I hope that you are